Live from 50th and Capitol Avenue in the Big O. This is Gary and Matt on 1620 The Zone. 1620thezone.com and 1620 The Zone TV. Now, here's Gary, Matt, and Jimmy.
All right, good morning. It is time to get back to your regular routine for a lot of you this morning. When that alarm clock goes off, it's the first time in about 10 days, maybe since the 23rd of December. Where you been? We were here on Friday, but we're back in studio while you were away. Nebraska basketball will be a top 10 team today with a huge game tonight at Ohio State. And we can debate court storming or the fact that was a hell of a game on Friday night. We are portaling. The first weekend of the portal is come and gone. It's moving quick. Too quick for some people.
Sure.
There's already a fight over what Nebraska's doing. Did Nebraska get a quarterback or did they get their quarterback? Creighton basketball yesterday. Not the reason, but a reason why they lost to Seton Hall that we will get into. But now Creighton is 0-5 in quad one wins or quad one games.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the NFL playoffs are set, the college football Final Four, and they have a familiar theme. It's all about money, and you pay a quarterback a lot of money. Hello, Mr. Sorsby. Enjoy that oil money at Texas Tech, where I wonder if what happened in Venezuela is going to affect Texas Tech. All right, welcome in, everybody. We are off and running on a Monday morning. It is Gary and Matt. Welcome back from Chicago.
Hi.
How are you? You made it safely?
I did.
All right, we're playing. If people are watching on the Zone, I just noticed this. You are the 14-year-old Matt McMaster today.
I am.
Why did you shave?
What happened is that I have, and we've talked about this, I have a nice trimmer. Yes, we have.
You got a nice trimmer?
I have a nice trimmer.
You have a nice weed whacker.
I don't have like the lawnmower 3000 or whatever, but on Cyber Monday, I got this nice like trim set for like $25 that costs like $60. And so it has like different guards and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you've noticed, but no. I've been, okay, thanks. I've been, keeping it nice and manicured. Like I use the guards and I like trim it down a little bit. And I make sure that
to be fair, you got a lot going on this time.
That the jawline is nice and like, it's kind of flat and even and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All this to say I take care of my beard. I didn't have any of that stuff in Chicago. Okay. I didn't.
Okay.
So when we got to a certain point, it was a forest and I just had to hack down the forest. And so, yes, I am baby boy McMaster.
All right.
There we go.
So nothing's changed in the new year?
No.
Throw it back.
I'm meant to be adulting again. But welcome in, everybody. Yeah, this is a lot of people have to set that alarm like for all of us.
Yeah.
Now, we worked on Friday.
But not the same, though. Working remote is not the same as working in person.
Yes.
It's not even close. The fact that I literally just got up and walked to my desk right from my bed, and then I was working is ridiculous.
And
it's a cheat code.
And you don't know, people don't know if you're wearing pants or not. Like when we were doing the show the other day, I was not wearing pants.
You definitely were wearing pants.
No, I wasn't.
You got up multiple times and went to the bathroom, and I saw that you were wearing pants.
Well, the whole show was I wearing pants?
I didn't see you not wearing pants.
I had shorts on.
I was wearing pajamas during our show.
I had shorts on. Yeah, no,
those shorts are pants.
No, they're not.
When you say that,
no, shorts are not pants.
Well, when you say
how are
that,
shorts pants?
Okay, real quick. When you say
it's cold outside, I think I'll wear my pants. Wait a minute, you're wearing shorts?
No.
When you debunked your little statement
when
there.
You say that you're working remote and you're not wearing pants, everybody immediately thinks that you're wearing underwear or you're wearing boxers or you're wearing something inappropriate that you could not wear to work. Okay, so in that case, when you're wearing shorts, you're not, you're
literally
not being
his
promiscuous,
first question.
as maybe you would insinuate when you're like, I'm not wearing pants when I work remote.
Some people have jobs where they can wear shorts year round. What if you work at Disney?
What if you're a golf instructor? God, that would be a hell of a job.
Yeah, you got to wear pants though. If you're at a bougie golf course and you're a golf instructor, it is pants only.
God,
I played at a couple of those courses.
Working at Disney,
pretty shocked when you don't know.
When working at Disney, you'd be like in a Mickey Mouse costume.
Not all of them.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
No. Hold on.
There are people who wear a polo and shorts.
You've not been to the parks?
I've been to the parks in years.
Okay.
When was the last time you went to the parks?
A couple years ago.
Probably beat me.
Not.
Are you a Disney adult?
No.
Okay.
It's an interesting place.
It's fun. I want to drink there. I haven't drank there. I do. I want to have a beer at Disney.
Well, go to the best. Go to Epcot in October.
Sure. And drink around the world.
Yeah, drink around the world. No, not everybody is Mickey Mouse at the parks.
Some are goofy.
There are only a few Mickey Mouses. Okay, but people dress.
There are only a couple 5 stars. There's only so many people who can wear Mickey.
Not everybody is dressed as a mouse. Okay,
I'm aware.
That defeats the purpose.
If everybody's special, nobody is.
Okay,
I mean that's a fact.
No, I was trying to think of that wisdom you just dropped there.
Well, that was a quote from an Incredibles movie.
I've not seen an Incredibles movie. Sorry,
I'm shocked. You haven't seen the Incredibles?
No. Why?
It's a great
Why
movie.
And when would I watch The Incredibles?
Why wouldn't you watch The Incredibles?
I got a lot of stuff going on.
That's a good point.
I watch a lot of live sports. Okay?
Have you seen The Accountant?
No, I have not.
We're back.
Hey, but I binged season 3 of Tulsa King.
Whoa, you're on Tulsa King.
Well, I was always on Tulsa King.
Okay.
But they just finished up season 3. So
Good.
I had not, because I don't have Paramount.
Sure.
Are
you mooching off somebody?
I share.
Okay.
Or they're sharing.
That's a nice way of putting it.
But I gave them something.
What'd you give them? PFF? My PFF?
No. I might have given them BTN Plus.
God, I pay $12.99 for that, and that is a scam, and I never use it.
Isn't there a deal for
Dude, I don't
young
know.
people?
There used to
Do you not still have your EDU email address?
No, they got, you know what? I was the class of 2024 was the first class ever for that to be removed. They used to let you have your email forever at the University of Nebraska. They now take it away. So no more Sunday ticket for really, really cheap for me.
I tried that once.
Yeah. How'd that go?
Well, they do check it. So
Well,
they send you a confirmation email.
Yeah.
And if the person that you're borrowing their EDU address from is not at their computer to respond to their email,
sure,
you run into a little bit of challenge.
You have
But
to
no,
coordinate.
I
used my
just
sister's.
recently binged season 3 of Tulsa King. So I watch so much live sports, and then I don't watch a ton of TV.
Mhm.
So I pick and choose. It's on the list.
How was
It's definitely on the list. The
Can
next
you-
one up for me is to watch the miserable Chevy Chase documentary that was on CNN.
Yeah,
It actually
I
was
saw that.
interesting.
He's a horrible person.
Well, yeah.
I saw
Hey,
that one clip, and he seemed like an absolute
The Griswolds loved him.
canoe.
Fletch loved him.
Yeah.
But post those,
Yeah.
he seems like he would not be fun to be on a set with, just kind of like trying to be a teammate of Aaron Rodgers.
Sure. Well,
Nice.
okay.
Well
Here's
done.
the thing.
Not that they're the same. I'm just saying the same vibe around them.
Well, first off, if you've been following and I know you have been SNL for the last decade, every time they make a joke about Chevy Chase, it's a bad it's a mean joke about Chevy Chase. So I think you kind of knew already that he was kind of a canoe.
When Steve Martin declines to be interviewed for your documentary,
Oof.
that's a good sign.
It's just it's sad because I like younger Chevy Chase in the SNL days and those couple of movies. I love, but he waded into some deep waters, got some things he shouldn't have said while he was on Community. People there didn't like him.
Yeah.
And that seemed like a fun cast. So yeah, I watched that's next up because people are like, you got to watch this. I know you like Fletch.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, okay. But I've seen trailers for it.
And then
paint him in a good light.
And then The Accountant? then-
Yeah, we'll put that on the list. We'll get that on the
Well, you
list.
still
Don't worry.
gotta
We'll
watch
get that on the
Stranger
How is it
Things.
not already on the list? It's
Well,
the one thing I've asked of you.
It's on the list, but you got to understand there's a lot of stuff. Like I'm not home very much.
Yeah.
So, and also
You're on a bus a lot.
I don't do a good job of sitting and watching stuff. Like I always have to be doing something.
I agree. I
Yeah.
totally agree. I still haven't finished The Patriot. I still haven't finished The Godfather. But Bill Simmons, the movie podcaster, he just did a very big podcast of the most rewatchable movies of all time. And it's actually
Can I ask what number 1 is?
Little Giants.
The Devil Wears Prada was
Oh,
his
of
number
course.
1 rewatchable movie ever. He was like, it's a great movie.
I've
It's
never seen
funny.
it.
It's a good
I did-
Meryl Streep movie.
I did kind of like it.
He was like, also too,
Sequel is coming out this summer.
you can watch it with the family. Like the family can pop in and watch it, and you can do it with a lot of people. The Town was number 5. He absolutely loves The Town. It was one of
Figure that as a Boston guy.
yeah. Well, he had a lot of Boston movies on the list. The thing was, the point being though, I think that list,
Celtic
everyone
pride.
goes hey, these are the greatest movies of all time, and you got to watch them.
Yeah.
Some of those movies, the greatest movies of all time, are long and for my generation kind of boring. That is the list that we got to get on, the most rewatchable movies. So
Okay.
I'm going to start marking stuff off of that list.
All right, Evan Bland's going to join us in his usual slot on a Monday as things are busy as we enter 2026. Evan is part of the lineup. It's brought to you by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. Are we going to talk more about Nebraska basketball, or are we going to talk about the portal today?
Portal. Probably.
Why?
The portal's so captivating.
Why is it captivating? You know what the portal has done around here? People are fighting. It's moving quick. It's the first weekend. Now, Rule threw it out there. We got all these resources, and all of a sudden, Nebraska only has one official commit. Actually, I have two. And people are like, I don't know. This is he missed the window last year with that schedule. Everybody, we got to relax a little bit, okay?
Take a deep breath.
There are guys that are going to be in the portal that are not even in the portal yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, granted, Indiana is cleaning house. I wonder what Cignetti will be like when he gets his players. When he gets good players, I wonder what they'll be like in Bloomington. That's a question
when he gets his guys.
Yeah. Wisconsin is off to a good start, like a really good start. So everybody the portal giveth, portal taketh away. It just started. I know it's moving quick. There are commitments here and there. Let's just wait a little bit before we make this sweeping Nebraska football is in trouble. It's a basketball school with little volleyball and other sports on the side. But it became what is Nebraska doing? Nebraska Rule. I'm done. That's why come on over tonight, 5:30. Let's find a local watering hole and let's watch some Nebraska, Ohio State in Columbus. We will not have a consensus. I pretty much have assumed on the general feeling of the first weekend of the college football portal when it pertains to Nebraska. Yeah, we're not going to. But everybody just, okay, we're not going to do this.
Deep breaths.
Yeah,
is that what you're calling
for?
It's
the chaos is 2 weeks. Okay, anything can happen. All right. Did you expect Keona Davis to go in the portal yesterday?
No, not really.
So there's going to be unexpected. So can we all just embrace the chaos and ride the chaos, and then, like 2 weeks from now,
we'll assess the roster.
We'll talk about where they're at.
So
because it could be a big week, and then people will change their mind. But if you're telling me the first two are a quarterback, and then Owen Chambliss, I'll take it. The only one that I'm like is a couple of the San Diego State guys, like a White and a Henderson, and their change of plans. A little bit disappointing, but let's all embrace the chaos, enjoy the ride, buckle up, and try and not be just infiltrated by feelings about Matt Rule's plan.
Did you and Matt Rule talk about him taking your, no, you haven't talked about him taking your phrase? Because he's now taken what was your phrase and he's coined it off as his own. And he said it now multiple times. I'm referring to the portal giveth and the portal taketh away. That's his saying now. Did he talk to him? Did he give that to him? Did he give the pattern away?
I did not. I would say, hey, can the portal giveth Nebraska some running back visits?
Yeah,
that's what I would. That's what I would ask.
I was looking at they
Why are we not talking about Nebraska basketball, but carry on.
There was that one offensive lineman that ended up committing to Arkansas, who was a pretty big target for him, and that was kind of disappointing.
So he followed his coach.
Yes, that was a little disappointing that he went to Arkansas because he was 6'5" and 330 pounds. And I was like, gimme. But the O-line, like the guys that they're targeting, I'm not going to act here like as if I've watched all of their tape and I know every single one of their stats and whatnot and stuff like that. I think you're pretty spot on in the fact that we are going to get to a point in about 2 weeks where we go ahead and we go, okay, hey, this is the roster and these are their holes and this is what they filled and this is their depth. At the end of the day, a lot of this matters. But what matters the most is the fact that the guys that you have in your roster who are younger actually end up developing and, becoming, starters.
What did you say?
They end up developing. That's what matters. None of this stuff, a lot of the stuff is going to end up mattering. But if they don't develop, it don't matter.
We're 2 years. I don't care what position you play. You got 2 years to figure out if you're going to be developed or not. This is how I'm going to judge. And this isn't anything new. It didn't change when we flipped the calendar to 2026. Nebraska's evaluation and projection of talent is very much lacking. And trying to use a model you used at Baylor in your first recruiting class, which you were, in about a 3-week sprint to get done, is coming back to bite Nebraska.
Yeah.
You got about 2 years. If you are making your way onto the field, you don't have to be a starter, but if you're making your way onto the field, then we have something. The problem is Nebraska going to develop guys for other programs? But this is how I'll judge the talent. And now Nebraska's at 18. in the portal. Keona Davis goes in yesterday. I got some thoughts on that. Is how many guys out of that 18, and there will probably be 3 or 4 more. It doesn't. Guys can go into the portal between now and the 16th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They may have waited because they're playing the game. Nebraska already knows they're going to be in the portal. They just haven't followed through on it. Is how many guys will go from portaling at Nebraska to a Power 4 school?
Not that many.
So Dylan will be definitely one. Hartzog probably will end up at a Power 4. And Keona Davis will end up at a Power 4, and then hopefully someone can unlock his potential. So those would be 3 that I would think of. But look at like a Jalen George. Yesterday goes to Tulsa.
Yeah, no.
That's kind of how I start to judge the talent that's on your roster. Is that when guys do leave, where do they go?
Yeah.
And a majority of those guys that have left Nebraska go to Group of 5, or they drop down to the FCS level. Thus, what is your collection of fellows that you have on your roster?
It's fascinating to me that is kind of part of the game that you have to play in the portal in terms of like evaluating your team and your roster. It's like, because you know that they're going to enter the portal, you know that guys are going to leave, and then you kind of have to look at it as like, hey, if my ex-girlfriend, like, she goes ahead and she starts dating an ugly guy, how bad was I? Like it's one of those things where it's like you kind of, they go ahead and they start dating like a good looking dude or something like that. You're kind of like, hey, like I was on the right track. Like I was looking at the right person. Like I think it's the same way in terms of like player development, where you're like, hey, I wasn't the only crazy one who thought that this guy could end up being a good player for me. I think that's just kind of part of the game. And you mentioned it earlier in terms
wonder how
of
Frager will develop.
He is developing. You
voted for football talk to begin.
I did vote
voted
for I know. We'll get to
Nebraska
basketball talk.
Why are we not talking about Nebraska basketball?
They're undefeated.
We'll
They
talk
might be
about
top
it
10.
plenty.
They're
January
14-0. They're one of 6 unbeatens. Them and Miami of Ohio and Vanderbilt.
Then shout out SMU, because Nebraska is going to end up being a top 10 team because North Carolina lost. We'll talk about them in a bit. But
top 10.
And we'll talk about them plenty during
Basketball
the show.
school.
It's
Blue blood.
Yes,
it's a basketball school that is fueled by football
and volleyball. But what you were saying about them getting off to a slow start? I feel like a lot of teams have gotten off to a slow start, unless you're the Penn State Cyclones and you're the Indiana Hoosiers.
Yeah, Iowa State is committed to Penn State.
Yeah, the entire team. It's literally yesterday on Twitter, Gary.
Now Wisconsin has got my attention.
They got a couple decent guys. Billy Edwards Jr. went to North Carolina.
Good luck. I wonder if his head coach will be there. I would not be surprised if you start to hear now with the opening in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because remember, Belichick.
Great point.
Half of the organization wanted Belichick last offseason.
Well,
that job is now open.
Yeah.
It's still wild that Atlanta had 8 straight losing seasons. 8 straight losing seasons. And Raheem Morrison and the GM gets fired last night. I wonder if Belichick's name, or if Belichick pushes his name to be back in the mix in Atlanta.
Wasn't it incredible? A lot of people forget that Atlanta gave Bill Belichick 2 interviews. They gave him 2 interviews and they still didn't hire him when he was coming probably off of him being his most hireable, right after being fired from the New England Patriots. They just didn't want to give him the keys to the kingdom, which I don't think anybody are going to give him the keys to the kingdom anymore.
By the way, Oklahoma
University
City
of North Carolina
and St. Louis, closest regionals for Nebraska.
Oh, yeah. Already checked that out.
You already buy tickets to the St. Louis Regional?
Keeping an eye on it.
No, I don't want to have to put them on the tickets for less or whatever.
Regional rounds: Houston, San Jose, Chicago, and DC.
Here, we'll get to this, but I just a quick question on Nebraska basketball.
Okay,
because they play today against Ohio State. They're a 1.5 underdog.
I'm so sorry for being so football pilled over here, because you really want to talk about Nebraska basketball.
I was at an event Friday night that the hype was matched.
Looked like fun,
and I did not think, because I was in the building for No Sit Sunday, that anything would top No Sit Sunday in terms of the anger in the crowd and the intensity and just the constant 40 minutes of involvement by the fan base. That happened on Friday night at PBA. So good on everybody that was there, because you got rewarded in a just intense game that gets Nebraska to 14-0. They're a 1.5 underdog tonight at Ohio State. This could be the first time, because of a quick turnaround road game, but Nebraska doesn't turn it over a lot, and they're a little bit older, that they can handle this, that maybe this is the first time they lose, which would suck, because today they will probably be inside of the top 10.
Probably, yeah.
But, Ohio State's an NCAA team as well. Okay.
This might be the theme of the show, where I just continue to want to talk about the portal, and then you have to go and pivot back to basketball to make us happy. Because here's where we're getting at. Football makes you depressed, and then you have to remind yourself, hey, Nebraska basketball is probably the best story in college right now.
So so part of that's the case, but with football, we're not going to know anything until October around here, okay?
Yeah, but you definitely
no,
stare into the abyss.
No. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this, and I want to be held accountable because I'm going to hold that program in Lincoln accountable. I want to be held accountable. I'm not going to do this because this is the cycle.
Sure.
Okay. This is the cycle of life of a Nebraska football offseason. There will be portaling, and Nebraska's going to win some. They're going to have some. They're going to get
excited. You're going to get excited.
There's going to be some players that you're going to get excited, okay? So that's going to happen. That's a given. Okay. And then you're going to look at the roster and you're going to hear good things, and you're going to hear that, man, guys look bigger, stronger, faster. And you know what? Then you're going to see something in spring and you're like, oh my God, that guy is great looking, getting off the bus. I'm surprised the bus doesn't tip over when he sits on one side of the bus.
Malcolm Simpson, Big Ten Player of the Year.
I wouldn't go that far, but I do need to know more about how his rehab's going. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
And when are they going to move Tyson Terry to the offensive line?
Yes.
Okay. So then you'll watch the spring game and somebody will flash. Like Kenny Minchie will take off like on a 75-yard run, not knowing that you're not supposed to touch the quarterbacks, and he just runs down the field. And you're like, oh my.
And you see Donovan Jones. See Donovan Jones lining up at linebacker. You're like, oh my God, he's got great height. He's got great speed. Look how physical he is there at the OLB spot. He's going to be great.
You'll get excited. Then you'll look at the schedule and you go, what? You know what? I think this team has the ability to navigate that schedule. I was thinking 6-6, but now, you know what? They get this win here, this win there. And you know what? Injuries are all part of it. Nebraska could play a team that all of a sudden John Hoover and Indiana show up, and John Hoover's injured and Cignetti's been suspended. Okay. And then all of a sudden it's, oh my God, here we go.
Well, that's
and you're going to be like, oh, 8 wins. Oh, this is back. We're back, baby. Okay. With football, you're not going to know anything until October.
Yeah.
Okay. The first 3 games are 2 MAC schools and an FCS school. I'm hoping, and we assume, and maybe it comes out this week, the Big Ten schedule for this upcoming year that'll be played in about 9 months.
Yeah.
That the first game will be at Champaign on a Friday night against Illinois.
Isn't it crazy we already know the NFL opponents before we know the Big Ten schedule?
Well, we know the opponents. We just don't know how it falls.
But typically we know the Big Ten schedule before we get all the opponents for the NFL.
I thought we would get it in December. I think Notre Dame USC
has screwed things up.
Not screwed it up, but it slowed the schedule release because they probably had options in there where Notre Dame USC were still playing, and now they don't, so maybe they adjusted the schedule just to I would think we would get it this week.
Yeah, that's probably right.
With football, you're not going to know until October, okay? There's going to be they're going to be some good, there's going to be some bad, they're going to be like, okay,
I don't know, Gary.
With basketball, I know what I'm getting. Okay? Get old, stay old. Matt Rule could learn a lot from Fred Hoiberg. Get old, stay old, have some experience. I know what I'm getting. So it's a New Year's resolution. I like to be involved in things that I know what I'm getting. Okay, when I was younger, I didn't care, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you told me that 8 guys were hopping in a car and we were going to drive to a remote spot in Omaha to buy a potbelly pig. I'm like, I'm in. Now, I want to know where that spot is, if we have cell service.
Yeah.
Are we taking guns?
Sure.
And whose car are we taking?
The town. That was a good one. That's a great callback.
All right. So I like the known. I like to dabble in the known, and the known warms my cockles right now.
We're going somewhere. We're going to recruit part of players. We don't know if they're going to commit, and you can never ask me about it. Whose car are we taking? Yeah. Whose jet are we taking? Is probably the more accurate question.
See,
I don't know, Gary. They just picked up this guy, and all of a sudden the Washington line is moving.
Hey, we all have been kicked in the groin at some point in our life.
Yeah,
it's okay to embrace the expectations of Nebraska basketball. Okay. It may be an 0-2 week. Who knows? That's a tough game tonight. It's an even tougher game at Assembly Hall on the weekend, where Indiana is unbeaten and against Power 5 conference teams. They've scored at least 86 points. Yeah. So
always been a weird game.
It could be an 0-2 week. It could be a 5-3 month. But you know what? I know what I got. That's a good basketball team. Basketball people that I trust tell me it's a good basketball team. I don't have to, my own eyes.
Sure.
Thank you, Kugler Vision. So just to embrace it, lean in, okay? And you know what? If you get If you get sad, you get sad.
You don't
if you
need-
get happy, you get happy.
You don't need.
Let's go.
You don't need basketball people to tell you that they're a good basketball.
Well,
team.
I just wanted some validation.
It was
So
great.
I reached out to some people on Saturday, said, hey, did you watch the game?
Yeah.
And good basketball minds said, yeah, that's a good basketball team.
So
they didn't say great. They said good. They emphasized good basketball team.
I had a Wrigleyville eating out of the palm of Nebraska basketball's hand on Friday.
Thanks for spreading the word of the gospel.
It was awesome. There was a big table of Michigan State fans right in front of me, and so it was pretty great. One of them came up to me though and was like, "Yeah, you guys were making everything." And I had to bite my tongue and be like, "No, not really. We didn't really make everything." Like
they got a little testy on social media. I don't know why they're so testy, because I would imagine that when Tom Izzo retires, Fred Hoiberg is a candidate for the Michigan State job.
There were multiple people, Michigan State fans, who were saying that.
Yeah,
who were tweeting
I think Fred would be a name that would pop up in East Lansing.
I think that if they end up having this, end up actually being like a top 4 seed in Nebraska ends up being a top 4 seed, and I think it's not just that Fred would lead them to being a top 4 seed, and that would be an incredible accomplishment on its own, but then also seeing how he built the roster, the fact that he's embraced the portal, and he embraced the portal in a way that you're spending less and getting more. And that's essentially like the name of the game at this point. If you're going to use the portal, like if you are spending less money and getting more out of players, that you are going to be a top candidate for anywhere, because that is just such a great resource. Yeah. And I'm not shocked by that at all, but so who's the strength and conditioning person for basketball?
He brought him from the NBA.
He's awesome.
I want to say his name's Tom Wilson, but that's not, I don't think that's right.
The right winger for the Capitals.
Hey, wouldn't that be perfect to have him as your strength coach with Frager on the roster? That would make sense.
It would be.
Yeah.
It would be. But no, it was really funny watching. So this is my point. Watching like Nebraska basketball with people who aren't familiar with the team or who haven't watched a Nebraska basketball game, and my buddies being captivated in the fact that they are good at basketball. Like they were. I
think it's Kurt Joseph.
Okay. So he's one of the comments that came from one of my buddies.
He's in his 5th year. He did come from, when he hired, didn't Hoiberg bring him from the NBA?
Probably. I don't know.
So he's worked in the NBA.
But one of the comments that my buddies made were, man, these guys are big. Like they're physical. They're strong. And this
old.
This is back to the theme of the show. I immediately go, yeah, it should be the strength and conditioning coach for Nebraska football.
All right. On that note, we'll take a break.
I can't help myself. I can't. It's sickening. It's sickening that every single event that happens in terms of athletics always comes back to Nebraska football.
That's why,
I have been poisoned.
Let's dabble in the happiness today.
But
okay?
I'm watching Alabama, and immediately I start thinking about Nebraska football. I watch Oregon.
No.
I start
when
thinking
you
about
watch
Nebraska
Alabama
football.
play, you should be thinking about Illinois, because Illinois and Alabama football are basically the same right now.
Oh, in terms of like wins and credibility and bowl wins and stuff?
Right now. We need to stop staring at helmets and stare at players inside of jerseys. There's my tip for the day. Don't be creepy about it, but just think about it. All right. Off and running. We will discuss the last 20 seconds in Newark yesterday at the Rock between Creighton and Seton Hall. Big week for red, blue, and black Nebraska when it comes to basketball. Because Creighton stays on the road. They played Villanova. Then they get St. John's at home. Omaha's got the North Dakotas coming. We'll get into all of that as we roll till 10. Good morning. Welcome back, everybody. Where you been? On 1620 The Zone. Hey, I'm looking out for you, for your sanity, because you're about to go through it. We're going to live vicariously through you.
Okay.
There's the only person on the show that has a team in the NFL playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the Chiefs went 0-8 against playoff teams.
Really?
Yeah, they went 1-9 in one-score games, and a perfect way for their season to end yesterday. But back to your Bears.
Yes.
So I'm looking out for you because Saturday is Hoopsville around here. Nebraska, Indiana play in Bloomington at 11 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Then, because I was seeing if I could go to the Creighton St. John's game.
Oh, yeah.
Creighton and St. John's and Omaha, North Dakota State, both playing at home, both play at 1 o'clock.
That's going to be hard for you to make.
It will. It will. It's been hard for St. John's to make buckets this year.
It has been. Got him.
But I was checking because the last time the Packers and the Bears played, you were doing a post-game show on the Creighton Radio Network.
I was.
With a Packer fan.
I was.
That game is 7 o'clock, so you're going to be good.
Yeah.
But I'm sensing some concern in the Bear fan base.
You didn't want to play them.
We want to live through you over the next week, and hope that maybe you get another week.
Yeah.
But I'm sensing that there is some concern in Beardom.
Yeah, my fan base is a bunch of wusses. All right.
Oh, okay. So you're not nervous.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not at all.
They didn't sit in the cold. I wouldn't call them that.
Okay.
But now they're an underdog.
I agree. Well, they were projected to be an underdog in every single game, two of them including to be projected home games, even before they ended up losing to Detroit. A lot of people were texting me during the Detroit game about like, hey, what the hell? Like, what's going on? Like all this. I'm like, have you not watched this team as the season has progressed?
No,
like this is kind of this, but what happened yesterday against the Lions is what they've done all year. They play
Dan Campbell owns Ben Johnson.
Okay.
Is what happened.
Well,
those two don't like each other. Did you see the post-game blow-by?
No, Ben Johnson doesn't like anybody who coaches in the NFC North. He's got beef with everybody.
Like
already,
the old AFC Central.
and he's been there for 8 months. It's awesome. I love it. But what like the point being is that this team goes ahead and the offense doesn't like look terrible, but then they stall out and then this happens every game. It's the like second quarter and they get to 4th and 4 and they're on the other team's like 48-yard line. And Ben doesn't know whether to go for it or whether to punt it. Yeah. And when he punts it, he like regrets not going for it. And then when he goes for it, they don't get it. And it's like, what the hell are you doing? You're way too aggressive. So they do that. And then they get to the 4th quarter and they end up looking like the team that you think that they can beat, which is really, really good. The only difference yesterday is that they only got 1 turnover, right? If this team is going to make a run, they got to get 2 or more turnovers a game. And when they got the ball in the 4th quarter, they didn't convert. Like every time that seems like they get the ball with the chance to take the lead in the 4th quarter of the season, they go ahead and they do it, much like your Chiefs. They didn't do it yesterday. So it's fine. I'm not worried. They're a good football team. They won 11 games for a reason. Like Green Bay is essentially 9-8. Okay. You can, like, they have their flaws. You can take your deep breaths and they're going to play football. They're going to play football. It's going to be a very close game.
Good to know.
Nobody other than the team.
I think the playoffs are going to be incredible.
I think the playoffs are going to be
anybody's game.
I think there's only 2 teams that I see no chance of them winning the Super Bowl.
Carolina Panthers.
That'd be one.
And
the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's our Super Bowl. Those two.
I think it's going to be a great tournament on the road to Santa Clara. So good luck. Have a good week. Enjoy this. Embrace it. Soak it up.
You're all we got.
Doesn't happen very often for you. But
so
we are done.
Thanks for the backhand on the way out. Really appreciate that, Garrett.
We are. And by the way, send us Eric Bieniemy back.
No, I want to keep him forever.
No, Mike Kafka or Eric Bieniemy or Kevin Stefanski. Please come to Kansas City with fresh new ideas. And that's what we need in the offense in 2026 in Kansas City.
Then hire Declan Doyle. Okay. You can take Declan. And we'll take back
to the NFL season is now over 272 games. It finished with a scripted finish last night between Pittsburgh and Baltimore. You think of some of like the best jobs in sports.
Yeah.
Are like a fired coach that gets a nice little buyout or a coach that is on TV and never has to deal with wins and losses.
Sure.
There's also the quarterback because they're highly paid and they all look good. Okay, they have good-looking families. They have a good life.
That's a great point.
Okay.
Is there an ugly quarterback in the NFL? Is actually a great college World Series topic.
This is a good Take 5 series you could do.
I don't think there is. Honestly, off the top of my head,
Some will say my quarterback.
Yeah, but he's worth $400 million.
What about Darnold?
So... My quarterback got Sorsby to Texas Tech.
Darnold got mono. The girls love him.
Yeah.
What do you think? He got mono just by sitting around?
Probably pretty sure he's got a family.
He probably, well, yeah, I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
Could have been sharing
Yeah.
like a bond or
Okay,
something.
so maybe the worst job in pro football.
We just blew right by that one.
Keep it moving. It's a new year.
I've learned.
New year, new HR department at NRG Media.
Apparently.
We have one?
Is so how that game ends last night. So Boswell misses an extra point, which he never misses. And then
literally in 4 years hadn't missed one, which is awesome.
And then a guy who most people don't even know his name, but he's going to get death threats, and he might be the reason why Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson, either one of them, are not in Baltimore next year. So his name is Tyler Loop, and he misses the field goal at the end of the game last night after the missed extra point that a field goal would have won it, after Lamar Jackson moves him down the field.
So bad.
So unless you're like Cam Little, who eventually is going to hit a 70-yarder for Jacksonville, he hit a 68-yarder outdoors yesterday. Kickers are just like lawyers.
Okay.
You never truly appreciate them until you need a good one.
Yeah.
And I look at my kicker, and he has had a bad year, but like in key situations, like in the playoffs or in the Super Bowl, Harrison Butker comes through. So I'm not throwing him away. But what they did to that kicker last night, it was not all on him. Why did they move? Why did they try and center the ball? Because if it's on the left hash, okay. And also, why did they not run another play?
That's a great. That's a great point.
Instead of running the clock and then kicking it, I know it almost seems like kickers are automatic in the NFL and if you're kicking at Ole Miss these days, but still, I think playing for a long field goal doesn't always bode well.
No,
they should have run one more play, but man, they had, if it's on the left hash where it was, he makes that.
He does.
Okay, so they moved it to center the ball. I don't know if he asked for it.
I think you got it.
Said,
You got to think he did.
Somebody
right?
said, "Hey, this is where he feels comfortable."
Sure.
But I don't know. He's gonna go through it, if you've seen his post game, he very much is a religious young man.
Yeah.
Because that's what he talked about to help him get through this. God, if you're a vet and you've gone through, and just think of what the Ravens have gone through. They had the Flowers drop. It's 17-7 in the AFC Championship game a couple years ago in Kansas City. Flowers drops the ball. Last year, Mark Andrews in Buffalo.
Oh my
and
God.
then you have that to finish a year where there's a lot of speculation if the head coach or quarterback will be back. Like, if you're a teammate, it would take a lot when that guy, when you're sitting on the plane to go home and clean out your locker, walks by you.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily know that it was entirely his fault. And I don't ever want to be a kicker.
So that if we were ranking like the best jobs in sports, I would say backup quarterback. And by the way, backup quarterback now in college too seems pretty great as well, because you end up getting a big payday when you enter the transfer portal. But the idea that like a 44-yard field goal is a short field goal nowadays is wild to me.
Mm-hmm.
44 yards is still like, that's still a kick. You still get that. That's got a chip shot. Like, you don't like, that's not one of those things where it's like, all right, hey, we're good about where that's. And I know it's always comes back to my team, but like the double doink, right?
Yeah.
It was I think it was a 46-yard field goal. Like, it wasn't as if that was like a 32-yard field goal or a 27-yard field goal. And it was like, hey, just make sure it comes off the foot nice. Like, there's actually length to it. So I agree. I was thinking the same thing. Like, why aren't they trying to make this a 38
and it wasn't
or a 37 yard?
And it wasn't even close.
It wasn't even close. No. So it also too, when you have a kick to send your team to the playoffs, right, at the very end of the season, it's not about the kick. It's about everything that led up to that moment too. Like, Baltimore went through a lot of trials and tribulations and you know, the Lamar Jackson injury, but also Derrick Henry fumbling the ball early in the season. Yeah, cost them
now last
plenty
night,
of games.
Kyle Hamilton getting hurt really cost them, because when he was on the field, he was a problem. Off the field, it was like the door opened up for Pittsburgh's anemic offense.
I can't stand him, but I actually am kind of excited to see number 8 play in the playoffs. I don't know what it is about seeing Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs.
Oh, you said that.
But I'm excited to see him play. I'm glad he's in the playoffs. It's just more interesting.
It'll be one night.
He's going to be part of history.
What is that? What history is he going to be a part of?
Because of the Carolina Panthers, the Houston Texans are not playing in the first game to kick off the postseason. That Saturday 3:30 kickoff.
Yeah, congratulations,
So,
Texans.
What? I think it's the first time in 9 years that they have not played the first playoff game. The 9 times that they've been in the playoffs. So they're now on the Monday night game because of Baltimore and Pittsburgh playing the Sunday night game. So they gave them an extra day.
Yeah, we're not going to know how to react. Carolina has replaced Houston. That's what people are saying on the webs today
Is
about
that
the
what
NFL.
they're saying?
Yeah.
That Carolina's the new Houston?
It's the
Yes.
first thing I
Are
noticed.
they saying that about geography too? Charlotte's the new Houston. Charlotte and Houston, same thing, same place.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I've been to both cities. Houston's a little bit larger.
One more
Houston is,
humid. Charlotte
might
humid, but
surprise
Houston-
people. Isn't Houston one of the 5 largest cities in America?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's the case
so
anymore.
big they got 2 airports.
but at
3
one,
loops.
at one point, I think they had more people than Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. They
Really,
were
you lost the
third.
title of the 3rd largest city?
I'm almost
Sorry.
positive
Chicago
Chicago's
has
no
more
longer
NBA
the third largest
championships.
cities. I'll look it up right now.
Is
Largest
that
cities.
just like recent when ICE came to Chicago and they started
All right,
deporting
all right,
people?
All right. I don't know.
You know what was one of the crazier things over the weekend involving politics?
Ah, Let me
I've
sit
been
back.
waiting for this. Yeah, what happened? What happened over the weekend,
Enlighten
Gary?
me.
Yeah, I haven't been
All right.
following it
This
at
is
all.
why I got up at 2:45.
By the way, I've actually come to the conclusion
No,
that
no,
every
this
day
is-
on
hey.
Twitter is a great day on Twitter.
No, Twitter is not real.
Twitter's awesome.
Twitter is not real. No. What happened in Venezuela with Maduro is
Third.
is a sports thing because he was dressed in a Nike sweatsuit. Okay, so it involves
Nice.
sports. No,
He looked
I'm
like
kidding. I don't want to. I
he
don't.
looked like the guy from Ready Player One. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
It's a great movie. He looked exactly like that.
One of my takeaways from the weekend of that world
Sure.
is that there are reporters that have the president's cell phone number
Yeah.
and they call him. There was a story in the New York Times where 9 minutes after the capture,
okay.
there was a reporter from the New York Times that called President Trump's cell phone and it rang 3 times. And then the president picked up and he started answering questions. And I'm like, Joe Mauer is probably the number 1 person I have in my phone.
Whoa,
pretty good.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have the president of the United
Yeah.
States. Like, does he give that out? Like,
How can we get on that
how
list?
How do you get the cell phone
You want
number
benchmarks?
of the president? Or you maybe have had it for a long
Sure,
time,
sure.
and then he became president,
Yeah.
and he's never changed his number.
That's a good one too.
Because is he a 2-phone guy or is he just a 1-phone
He's got to
guy?
be a 2-phone. What are you talking about? There are people in broadcasting that are 2-phone people.
See, I see him as that's why I see him as one.
president's a 2-phone guy. I know the program director of KLIN is a 2-phone guy. Okay, like the president's probably a 4-phone guy.
How much of
I
a
don't know.
flex is that you could say, I have the current president of the United States, I have his cell number,
Yeah.
and I regularly call him.
Have you ever gone ahead and
Like that's insane.
Have you ever gone ahead and
It's pretty damn cool, but that's insane. Like people can just
Yeah.
What if you share that information?
have you ever gone ahead and looked at your contacts and like actually scrolled through them? It's a good laugh. I'm going through them right now. It's a
Yeah.
good. I have Keaton, cute girl from bar. I have
Oh, nice.
Are
Shout out Keaton.
Are these recent?
yeah. I don't know. I have
Nice,
Andy.
Nice Christmas back home, I guess.
I have Andy parentheses Big Ten.
Oh.
No last name.
Really thought
But-
that was going somewhere else.
But Andy Big Ten. I have a lot. I have a lot of the Creighton basketball coaching staff in my phone. I think I have you beat though in terms of most famous content. I have Eddie Olczyk's number.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah.
So
Oh,
Good.
Joe Mauer's in the Hall of Fame.
so is Eddie Olczyk.
Baseball Hall of Fame.
Hockey Hall of Fame.
Baseball.
Not the same. Baseball's way
Yeah,
better.
hockey is not the same as baseball.
No, Hall of Fame.
Cooperstown, Toronto. One's in the United States, the other's in Canada.
I have
People
David.
forget.
If the Hockey Hall of Fame was so big, they'd put it in the country that is on a roll of winning Stanley Cups. Facts.
I have David Fort Worth, Texas. Okay. I met this guy at Barry's. He's like, if you're ever in Fort Worth, give me a call. I will. If I go to Fort Worth, I'm going to give him a call. I have
I
I
have too
have-
many people in my phone
sure.
that I just have numbers and don't have.
Yeah, you do.
names.
You do that, which is the fact that you know my phone number off the top of your head scares me.
But there is somebody that texts me regularly that I don't have their name.
And you can't. Yeah.
and I scroll back to trying to figure out who it is, and I don't know who it is.
yeah.
So I keep it very, very generic.
I have an actual New Year's resolution for you because I told you that like I'm going to be more healthy, but one of my New Year's resolutions is I'm going to be more willing to inconvenience people. and
What?
and in particular,
Okay.
this really just relates to when I'm at a restaurant and if you get my order wrong or the food is cold or it's like not up to my standard, I've always been the guy to just kind of choke it down, be like, no, it's great. Like, we're loving it. We're having a great time. And then
You've
the waiter
seen
walks
Road
away,
Trip?
and you're like, this is crap. Like, no, I haven't. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I think one of my New Year's
Careful with that
resolutions is
French toast.
my New Year's resolution is I'm gonna have the guts to actually look the waiter in the eyes and say, hey, this ain't great. Or
good.
there are multiple people I know who think my name is Mike, and I just let them call me Mike. And I don't want to tell them, hey, my name's actually Matt.
Mick.
No, I'm gonna tell. My New Year's resolution is to be like, actually, my name's Matt, and I've told you that multiple times before.
Master.
All right. Hour number 2 coming up. People do not need to text me to say, hey, this is blank. I already have you in my phone. Okay.
It's, if you're ever curious about how a single guy's life is going, just go to their contacts and go to H. If you know, you know.
I missed that part of my life.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You get to live through me.
We should call Keaton.
She's got a great food Instagram. She's like going to like places all the time and like eats great food.
Ring her up. It's a keeper.
Nebraska basketball plays tonight.
There it is.
At Ohio State, 5:30. They're about a 1.5, 2.5 point underdog to try and make it 15-0. And at some point today, they could be in the top 10. What a wonderful world we live in. It's still basketball season in Lincoln. It's still football season in Bloomington, Indiana. World is upside down in so many ways. All right, we're back with more after this. All right, welcome back. People that are going to work. I think school. I don't think a lot of schools start until tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for them.
Got to have an extra.
You know
day
what?
off.
Hey, because we're about to begin our last semester in Lincoln.
Yeah.
Nebraska goes back next Monday.
Isn't that early?
Yeah, you have
That's
to.
so early.
So you have to be in. Well, I also then look further about being eligible. You have to be enrolled by the 20th of January.
Okay.
But
Good call.
yeah, so they don't have that like extra session they had during the winter.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Nebraska goes back on the 12th.
They go back on the 12th.
Yeah,
We
Chuck,
always went
Sounds like
back
the
on like the
20-something.
21st or the
Yeah.
22nd. We had like a full like 6 weeks off.
yeah, Chuckster's last semester in Lincoln.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Uh,
If I were to give Chuck any advice, because I wasn't too far away from where he is now, berries on Tuesdays at like 4:00 is just the peak of second semester senior year.
He's good. He got it down. He
Awesome, man.
he tells me things.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm telling there is nothing better than like you're about to graduate in 5 weeks
Yeah.
and your buddy just goes, it's a Tuesday. He just goes, hey, want to get a beer? And you go,
And it's never just one.
oh, no,
Wonderful.
no, God, no. And you're like, yeah, screw it. I graduate. I'm going to be a real adult in 5 weeks. I'm never going to be able to do that. Yeah, hell yeah, I want a beer. And then all of a sudden it's 1:00 in the morning. and you're
That's
at
the
Sandy's.
correct answer.
And
Hell yes.
it's just that is looking back on it now. I want to cry thinking about it because that was just the peak. That was just the peak.
His
That was just it.
his only my only complaint with him is he's in a major where his last semester he actually has to take like some real classes.
Yeah.
Like you got to take history of jazz. You got to take those classes.
yeah,
He only
boy.
has one of them because he's in a major that is kind of intense.
Yeah.
So he's got to take like 3 classes that are like high level.
My
I'm like, what are you doing?
my
Who's
last-
your advisor?
My last semester was actually academically my most stressful. Like I had to take a geology class with a
Every
lab.
semester was very challenging academically for yours truly.
Not mine. I took history. There was one point where I told my dad the classes I was taking, and he goes, "What the hell am I paying for? Like, what are we doing?" I was taking history of rock and history of sport.
Yeah.
These
at
are
the same
important
time.
things.
My
You need to
last
know
semester,
both.
though, I had 2 capstones, a geology class, and business or sorry, like law, some sort of like law class. It was
Ew.
stupid.
Shout out to Chuck. He's part of a trivia question. Last Omaha West Side basketball team to win the Metro Holiday Tournament he was part of. And then West Side beat Creighton Prep by 2 over at Prep on Saturday night. Place was packed. You're not familiar with the Metro Holiday Tournament, but
No, I'm not.
it's legendary around here. Used to be at the Civic. Civic was packed. Then it got out of the Civic because they tore the Civic down. It'd be tough to play on the green space there in the middle of the winter.
Cold.
There was a Baxter Arena for a year. That's where Westside won last time. Now they've split it between Bell West and Prep. It was packed for the boys and girls. So Westside beat Prep.
Yeah.
And then shout out OPS, Omaha North, which has got some of their roster is now eligible in the second semester. They beat Westview with the unofficial mayor of Omaha, Bud Crawford, in
Nice.
attendance. But this is so great Saturday of basketball around here. Prep and Westside play over at Westside Friday night, and I think Southwest plays at Southeast. Southwest is unbeaten. I think Southwest is the number 1 boys team in Class A.
You got to do me a favor, and you have to start telling me what high school basketball games could go to on the weekend, and I will do my best
That
to do
ain't
that.
gonna happen.
What? You can't just tell me what games could go to.
You won't go.
I will go to a game. I will. I want
You
to
won't go to a game.
Yes, you want to
I
make a
actually
bet?
think he would go to a game.
I would definitely go to a game. If you
All
told
right,
me,
go
hey,
see London Dada.
when is that?
That's enough.
I'm not aware. I'm not. I'm clueless. I am clueless when it comes to Omaha high school basketball.
All right. Let's start the hour with Ryan. Good morning, Ryan, on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah, I was just listening here. Did I hear you say earlier, Gary, that Indiana's cleaning up on the portal? that?
They had a good day yesterday.
Did they?
Yeah,
Okay.
had a really good day.
Oh.
Really good day.
Okay. So my question is, I just got a couple things I want to throw out. Number one, could you get Scott Shanley back on the radio at some point?
We can try. It was not our decision. He just ghosted us about 2.5 years ago. We'll reach out again.
I've seen a lot of. On Facebook, I just see a lot of stuff with ex-Nebraska players. So I'll just leave it at that. But one last thing. On a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned are you about next year? And I'll listen.
10. Well, hold on, Brian. 10 being the really, really concerned. 1 not.
Yeah, there you go.
6.5.
Yeah, I'd be
Okay.
a 7.
Now, where are you at, Ryan, on that scale?
8.
Okay. All right. I think it's fair.
I think that's so
Unfair.
fair.
Ryan, thanks for the phone call. By the way, I violated a rule there. I cannot, and you should have corrected me. It's past the window to say Happy New Year.
I thought it was the
No,
7th.
I thought you said
No,
7th.
You said the 7th.
I went back and it's not. It's like
Oh,
the
okay.
3rd. The
Okay.
3rd or yesterday.
But the 3rd was a weekend. Do you at least get one
I-
work
no,
day?
I
This is our
disagree
first
with that.
full day back.
I think 7th. I think
No.
the 7th is perfect.
No.
Let's just call it your rule. We'll just call it the Gary Sharp rule.
No,
the
no,
7th.
no, because I stole it from Larry David.
But you
So when you see
improved it.
Happer later, you won't say Happy New Year.
our
because I've
whole
already seen him.
our whole existence in life is just stealing things and making them better. I mean, that's what the transfer portal is.
That's deep.
I'm just saying, you just take things and you make it better. All of a sudden, Nick Marsh is going to end up being a first-round draft pick from Indiana.
He was already good at Michigan State.
Dude, he's awesome. And then they got the pass rusher from Kansas State on top of that. And then you got Turbo Richard out of Boston College. And then you got Josh Hoover, who already was one of the best quarterbacks in the Big 12, going to sling it for that offense. Great. Rich
Yeah.
is getting richer. And somehow the rich is Indiana.
Wait till Cignetti gets good players.
Wait till he get his guys. Wait till he brings in his dudes.
That's scary.
It's so concerning.
Also, if you missed it overnight, Sorsby's getting $5 million. He's going to Texas Tech, where his girlfriend is on the volleyball
It's
team.
undefeated.
He called Patrick Mahomes and Cody Campbell to tell him first that he was
Well, yeah,
committing to
that's funding
Texas
it.
Tech before he
That's
called Joey McGuire.
Apparently, Levitt is getting $5 million from Kentucky.
Well, I mean, this is that there has to be a ceiling because it's kind of insane.
It is.
Miami, who has a lot of money, backed off of paying a guy $5 million. That's it. The money is insane. But are you going to go with a proven Power 4 quarterback that gets into the portal? Are you going to go the Group of 5 route? Because if you look at like commitments, Illinois got the quarterback, Wisconsin got the quarterback, Indiana's got the quarterback. Everybody goes about it a different way. Nebraska has a quarterback that'll be in a competition. Do you get an unproven potential? Do you get a Group of 5 proven?
Yeah.
Or do you get one of those sexy Power 5s that would bring the kind of $4 to $5 million? But $5 million for
That's
Sorsby.
great. Yeah.
That's what he's going to get at Texas Tech. I wonder if they'll score some points if they make the playoff.
I think it always just comes down to the conversation you and I had before we went on break, which is how much do you have to address on your roster in terms of like what else you have to pay? If you got to play a lot of other players, you're probably taking the unproven guy.
All right, let's talk to, for the first time in 2026, Nebraska Ball Mike. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How was your
Sure.
your New Year? How was Christmas?
Christmas was good.
Yeah. Did you get everything you wanted?
Me and well, that's not going to happen again. But I'm all right.
All right. There's always next year.
We can hope, right?
Yep.
Gary, what happens when I wake up?
You open your eyes?
Okay. Okay. I'm going to need some context
This
here.
is why I came back.
No.
No, this is not anything like a little.
You turn
Um,
over and you go, you good?
You know what it means.
Okay, I'll play along. When I wake up,
In the morning.
I don't know. I don't know where you want me to go here, Mike.
Is this team
Oh, you're
going
thinking.
to hold up like we think it will?
I don't think there's any reason as to think that they won't. They're playing good basketball, Mike.
They're
It's
good.
it's
Well,
not one of those things they're
agree.
going on the
I
run.
agree.
They're playing great basketball.
I'm
Timeout.
part of me still waiting for that other shoe.
Okay. No, stop. It's time to embrace the expectations and embrace what they are. Okay. And this is, I need to lead the charge here in Omaha because in Lincoln, everybody's all over GBR. I mean, the town was lit Friday night.
It should
That's
be.
what Nick
Okay.
said.
Here in Omaha, I sense some hesitancy, okay? Whether it be at this radio station or around town, you know what? Multiple teams can be good at the same time. And if one team is better than the other, It's okay to embrace them, okay? So
Breaking.
embrace the expectations, embrace that they're a good basketball team, and that general manager Fred and head coach Fred are the same this year. They're a good basketball team. They're 14-0, okay? They have won in Champaign. They won a game. They've won 2 games against 2 really, really good teams in the Big Ten, and they've won them in different styles. They won a game where they had a run and gun, okay? Then they won a game where it was a defensive slog, and they were able to make enough plays to win that basketball game. So I don't know what the hesitancy is, and I say load the bandwagon up. You know, that's the thing about sports. You can't tippy-toe through the tulips, Mike. You have to run through the tulips, okay? Run across the hot coals. Don't just like pitter-patter. Be all in, okay?
No,
now, this week
I
might be an 0-2 week. You know what? That's basketball. It's the Big Ten. It's on the road. Most of the time, you're going to be an underdog on the road unless you're playing like an Evanston or a State College.
Facts.
So they're a good team, okay? You don't have to say, well, they're a good team, and just buckle up and ride it, because this is a fun team to be involved with. They've got a veteran that is a Dutchman. They've got a transfer from Iowa who is paid less than the transfer in this town from Iowa and is producing a lot more.
Bang.
They have got a guy that busts his butt, and his dad happens to be the coach. They've got America, and they've got a dickhead. They got a freshman. They got a freshman. They got
awesome.
They got a freshman. They got a freshman dickhead. Okay, that everybody needs. Okay,
do.
so
Says in the game notes.
they are well. They have everything you would want to embrace a team. And I watched people, especially with Frager, and he got some swag, and he's also a good player, and he's very young, and he needs to do the guns better, but he's learning his lesson.
Better.
This fan base loves this team, and this team loves the fan base back. And so, Mike, do not hesitate. Go as fast as you can. Make those wheels spin and go right into Nebraska basketball, 25-26. Let it ride, and the ride may be glorious. It may send Kent Pavelka into death or retirement.
Dude.
Okay? But no more of this. I don't know. No. They're good. All right? Thank you.
Is
Where's my
it going
TED
to
Talk?
take
job.
40 tonight from another Husker player to hang with Ohio State?
What do you mean, minutes?
Bryce Williams put up 40
Oh.
last year, and we still lost.
Well,
This is a different team.
Remember the officiating at the end of that game. That was a crazy
Awful.
game.
Yeah, that was like what,
no,
115,
So
113?
I don't think they need, they don't need one guy every night to be Bryce. Look at Rink Mast Friday night, Mike. He was great in the first half, and
Not
then
good
the
in the
second
second
half
half.
didn't, but he showed up at the end of the game to hit the big shot. They're equipped where if one thing they have things to fall back on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're not going to go unbeaten, okay? They might lose 5, 6, 7 games this year, but they're built where they're not going to crater either in a season or during the course of a game. So they don't need somebody to put up 40. Now, I thought you were saying 40 because I'll be very curious. Rink Mast played 36 minutes, short turnaround.
Yeah.
He hasn't
Interesting.
really showed any ill effects from the
Knee.
injury that knocked him out last year.
Yeah.
But watch him tonight. But no, I don't think they need somebody to put up 40. They probably need tonight, by the way, to make some twos. Okay. They probably
would help.
They made 18 shots.
yeah,
That would
well,
it was really weird to watch that and feel that it was strange.
well, they were 5 of 20 from 2-point range, which is a record setting. But they won a game. They won a game where Hoiberg's team didn't have to score 60. So they've won some key games in different ways.
Yeah.
They live and die by the 3, but that's on both ends because they will live and die shooting the 3. But they made Michigan State very uncomfortable making that into a perimeter game, and that's not what Michigan State wanted to do. And then Michigan State, when they went into the paint, Nebraska did a really good job of switching and following the game plan on how they were going to perform in the paint. But tonight's going to be Bruce Thornton's good.
Yeah.
Bruce Thornton could be a guy that could go for 40 more than anybody on Nebraska's roster.
Matt, I've got a question.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. You buried the lead here. I want some Packer Bear smack starting now.
You're going to get some
Thank
in
you.
a second here.
Thank you.
I am now. You know how season over-unders work, and I don't.
Sure.
Oh, this
Do
is
playoffs count too?
No. I don't know. Just regular.
So I only got one to carry through. That
Yeah, and
sucks.
it's the one I told you to bet. Should listen to me.
Because I was short on.
You bet Atlanta, and I told you not to. I told you not to bet Atlanta.
Well, it's not. Green Bay had multiple opportunities to close, and Atlanta was schizophrenic.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
So
I told you not to do that, though.
Atlanta was so schizophrenic this year.
Well,
it's insane.
What was the one future you hit though?
Indiana.
There you go. You're welcome. Should have told you to bet Mendoza to win the Heisman too. What do you got for me? Because I'm the champion of the NFC North. So I mean you can throw your jabs and you can say whatever the hell you want, but you can beat our ass for 57 minutes and we'll still beat you. Yeah, we'll see you in 6 days.
We'll see you in a week.
All right, we're gonna make our biggest wrong a right, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna erase the memory of BJ Raji. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna beat you in the playoffs.
You're not going to do that because it's not 1985 again.
Yeah, it's 2025. It's the 40-year anniversary.
It's been 40 years, and you're still praying for 1985, and it ain't gonna happen.
Who won the NFC North? You won.
Me.
If it weren't for the Dallas Cowboys being absolutely just trash this season, you would be 9-8. Right? You'd be 9-8, and you would have had to compete for a playoff spot. You guys are so overrated. You guys are one of the most overhyped, overrated, scared, talked about 9-win team I've ever seen in my entire life. You would think you win 13 games with how my fan base talks about you. Mike, you can whoop my ass for 57 minutes and I still end up winning the game. We could play one of our worst games all year and we still end up winning.
Talking like you matter.
We do matter. We won the NFC North. We do matter. We're the number 2 seed. If we weren't, do you know that the Green Bay Packers would not be in the playoffs for the last 4 years if it weren't for that stupid playoff expansion rule? Matt LaFleur probably wouldn't have a job if it weren't for the 7th playoff team, which shouldn't even exist.
No, he'd probably have a job. You'd probably pay him.
Yeah, and we'd probably end up winning. True. Probably end up using his talents better.
All right, enjoy tonight, Mike. It's okay. Just prepare to ride the roller coaster. All right, but I think it's going to be a nice.
Indiana will always be a problem because of Mark Cuban and Sage Steele. They've got money.
Sage Steele.
They're not going anywhere.
Sage Steele.
Does she have that?
I don't think she has the cachet.
She's got more. She's fine. She's helping, I bet.
Are you her accountant?
Okay. This is all right. Good call. Thank you, Mike. Happy New Year.
All right.
Thank you.
Matt,
Happy
you got me worried about the Bears.
What do you mean?
Your confidence.
We won the NFC North. We won the NFC North.
Now, as my new team, you got me worried.
We lost our last 2 games. I've never felt better after a loss in my entire life after that San Francisco
Seems like
game.
some fake confidence.
Paulo Creed thought he's going to wipe the floor with Drago.
They came out.
Good luck.
Dude,
at least it's not a Sunday game where Monday you'd be in here and you'd be all right.
Yeah, that's true.
The Detroit Lions the Detroit Lions are just so mad that Ben Johnson can no longer elevate their very mediocre head coach. And so after having a very talented roster, they missed the playoffs and they wanted to, they treated that game yesterday like it was their Super Bowl. And the Bears came out and they looked like a team that already had made the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And they came out flat and they didn't have it. And yet they still had an opportunity to win the game.
I'm being told that I can't call Frager that, but you know where that comes from? I'm quoting Sam Hoiberg, who, by the way, is going to make his broadcasting debut on the Nebraska-Indiana women's basketball game on Thursday night.
Yes.
On the Plus?
He's been practicing?
So I think he's on KRNU.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Sam Hoiberg will be on the radio, KRNU, doing he'll be the analyst on the Nebraska-Indiana women's basketball game. But when we had him on our other podcast that I do on the my side piece job.
It's just a podcast. It's not your side piece.
It's a side piece.
It's a good podcast.
It's under a different umbrella. He used the word, okay, so people are saying I can't say that. Either can I not say the word or can I not say about the Frager? But Hoiberg said that Frager is a Richard head. So everybody needs one of those in their life.
They do.
They need them on their team, whether you're in sports or you're just in business. You need that person.
Richard Head?
Creighton had Grant Gibbs. Nebraska has Frager. Okay. Just this case. Now, Frager he, by the way, deleted his post and apparently he reached out to Fears and apologized.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm convinced he had no clue. By the way, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think in the moment you think that guy got shot before. Let's just throw some guns at him.
Yeah, I think he hit a really big 3 in a very.
Got to be better. Got to be better how they show the guns. I'm like Randall Hill. Okay.
Nice.
What, you don't like the 3-finger spread out deal?
No, I mean,
No,
yeah, then-
Randall Hill is
hey,
the way to go.
Then if you're going to do that, give it a little cock. All right.
You want him to load the gun?
Yeah.
You want him to go to his pocket,
Hey.
take out the cartridge, put
Hey.
in each bullet to the gun. Go ahead.
What the hell's he doing?
Probably wouldn't have gotten a technical. Definitely, if the Big East officials were working that game, they'd be like,
Hey, we're having fun.
Um,
We're having a good time. Just grab the guy by his arm. We don't
he's
care.
youthful. He has some swag. He's also turning into he's going to be one of their better players. He just kind of gets in trouble, but he takes the attention away from other guys. Grant
Yeah.
Gibbs did the same thing at Creighton. He never went guns, I don't believe, but he got under the skin of everybody else. And everybody in every opposing arena in the Missouri Valley Conference hated him. Okay?
Look at Draymond Green. He's been ejected 6 of his last 7
Yeah.
games. He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Everybody needs a fragger. You have a
That's
fragger in your office. You probably have a fragger in your household. Everybody needs a fragger.
You probably have a Frager at your radio station.
All right,
Why do you think I'm here?
I never thought.
What?
of
I
you
never
that way.
thought that of you.
I
I
know,
actually
I'm
like you a lot.
You want to play
yeah.
that role? Is that your new role in 2026?
Is
Well,
that's my New Year's resolution?
too nice
I'm gonna
of a
be more
guy.
like Braden Frager.
well, you got the youth.
I do have the
You're
youth.
only like a year older than he is. All right, take a break. We'll come back. We will discuss. It's a reason,
song.
but not the reason why Creighton lost at Seton Hall yesterday. That was a wild second half, and a loss that you hope doesn't get brought up in late February and early March.
Mhm.
But I have a question about the final 20 seconds and the notion of why Seton Hall and San Diego State get a break. Yes, I said San Diego State. I'm sorry. Bad memories. All right, 25 past the hour. Evan Bland will join us in an hour from the World Herald. By then, will Nebraska have a new portal entry or a portal addition?
Probably.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay.
All right, we're back with more after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back, everybody, in your routine. Probably for the first time since I would say the 23rd of December. You had to set an early alarm. I hope Scott Hansen gets to sleep in. We said goodbye to Scott Hansen yesterday for another season, interspersed with more ads as the season went along. But Scott, you'll always have a place in the hearts of all NFL fans. So I hope you get to sleep in today.
I always have to do the double take on the Scott Hansen of which one are we talking about.
That's fair.
I do.
I don't think that's weird. No,
it's a strong name with two men who are rooted in American culture. One of them calls 4 different football games at the same time, and the other one catches people that have to be caught.
Sometimes the worlds intersect.
They do. I just always have to do like quick double take, like, oh, we're talking about the football one. Okay. You go, we said goodbye to Scott Hansen. I go, oh no, wait, what?
Was he a casualty of Black Monday?
No, we'll probably get a couple more.
No.
I'm sorry. I can't help myself. What? Chris Hansen.
Yeah.
Dang it. That was bad. That was a bad one.
Clint,
there's another Scott Hansen, though.
Clint texted into the show. This discussion about Nebraska basketball. Now, there's nothing that, for some, that Fred can do between now and March and winning a game in the NCAA tournament, because you can't fast forward. I've learned that. So Clint says, I'm not trying to tell you how to be a fan, but it's okay to be all in. I mean, your eyes. If you're a ball knower, you know. Okay, he says Nebraska basketball. Not changing my mind until they win in the tournament. They're a good team and have been fun to watch, but I'll wait till they win when it counts. And I've got the Charlie Brown and Lucy GIF or GIF sent to me here.
It's tough for me to agree with that though, because they've never been like on a run like this before. And the funny thing too is that I think run is a bad word, because I don't think they're necessarily like they're on a run, but it's not like, oh man, they're white hot and it's, the other shoe is going to fall off or they're going to come back to earth. Like, I don't think that it's that at all. I just think they're a good basketball team. And so, how often has Nebraska basketball been this good and then you end up getting fooled by them and then they end up like not playing well or they end up like not being, it doesn't happen all that often. So I
think they're
agree
built, I think they're built different than the 23-24 season. That was kind of fun around here.
Hey, I think they're better.
They're not going to go unbeaten, okay? They're going to lose some basketball games. They might be.
Are you sure?
They might lose 7 or 8 games, all right? They might have an 0-2 week, but that does not take away that they're a good basketball team.
Yeah.
Okay? They were preseason in the Ken Palm 51, and now what? They're in the top 15. They're going to be, and, they could get ranked tonight or ranked today and lose tonight. But they have a chance to be either number 9 or number 10. They're right now. And we have to, why don't we use the Indiana football principle? Things change.
Yeah.
The landscape has changed. Now, Nebraska doesn't have a ton of money in NIL. They're just, they're put together really, really well.
Yeah.
And we need at some point go past history.
I agree.
Okay. Because things are changing. They're good. They're a good basketball team. Enjoy it. All right. Enjoy it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They might go 1-2 this week. Okay. They play 2 tough games on the road, and tonight where they're playing has not been very kind to Nebraska. And when Nebraska's lost 9 of 11 to Ohio State, and last year was just a debacle. It was a great game.
Great city.
I mean, it went till early in the morning for some people, and the officiating got in the way. Which, boy, familiar theme. It's just let's go. Let's go. The bandwagon is open. If you haven't been on the bandwagon, all right. Miami of Ohio even thinks Nebraska's a good team. Nebraska thinks Miami of Ohio is a good team. Izzo thinks Nebraska's a good team. I like Izzo.
I like Izzo. Knows ball.
Pure class.
Yeah, he knows basketball.
But you watch Michigan State, when he retires, there'll be a lot of people that throw Fred Hoiberg's name out there.
I won't be shocked.
And people around here will be shocked, though. They will go, all right, come on. You know what? They're different from 2 years ago. They don't turn the basketball over as much. They're a little bit older. They're connected. It's just let's enjoy the ride. Let's have a meetup tonight. Let's have a meetup to watch this game. 5:30 tip-off. We can watch Amari Bynum who's a local product, who's at Ohio State, played at Omaha Bryan.
My kind of game
All
time.
right. Watch Bruce Thornton, Mobley Jr.
Okay, so Bruce Thornton is probably one of my favorite Big Ten basketball players.
Yeah,
It's
he
not
might
Nebraska.
score 30 tonight.
He's awesome.
Yeah. All right.
He's so good.
Let's talk to Creighton Andrew. Good morning.
All right, Mike, you have a lot to be worried about.
Mike?
Nebraska will try.
My name's
Oscar
Matt.
Mike.
Oh, okay.
Oscar Mike.
Okay.
Then Nebraska will drop the ball. And I hate to tell you guys, history is a good indicator of what's going to happen. So that's all I have to say there.
Okay.
And the storming of the court when you beat a number 9 team, I thought that was a little bush league. Beat a number 1 team or something and storm the court.
Well, you know, they did that.
They did do that.
No.
And beat it.
When did they do that?
Purdue.
Oh, yeah. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They came back from 20.
But
Down
storming the court should only be meant for, like, a number 1 team, something like that. But I understand
So
it's Nebraska basketball.
Yeah. I thought it was great when last year against Kansas, people stormed the court downtown.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's deserving for a number 1 team or something like that. But
okay,
here's the
I
thing
did
with
against UConn.
yeah, don't compare Prager to Grant Gibbs.
Oh, okay.
Don't even go there.
What about
That
Joe
was
Gibbs?
a terrible comparison.
How was that a terrible comparison?
Because one player is 10 times better than the other player.
Okay.
When I'm saying Gibbs, obviously. I thought Creighton got robbed. Granted, they did enough to lose that game on their own. But I thought the last minute or 2 minutes of that game was the most poorly officiated game I've ever seen. What's your take on that?
Well, okay. So here's what I dislike. I said it's one of the reasons. It's not the reason that Creighton lost. All right. They
agree.
Can't get the ball in 3 times.
Yeah,
One of the times you do, you get it to Trout, who is not the guy to have. Trout wasn't hitting shots. They didn't hit shots. They kind of over-rotated in terms of substitutions. I mean, there were a lot of things. But that play at the end where Swartz got just mauled, I hate this notion that the San Diego States and the Seton Halls of the world, they play good defense. To try and force a jump ball, which they got the call, because what is Swartz supposed to do in that case? If he starts swinging his elbows, that's on him.
Yeah.
But here's my biggest thing with that play, Andrew. And can we bring him down here a little bit? Okay. My problem is the official is so slow getting to get a good look at it. If he is standing right in front of that play, he can see that the guy holding the basketball is getting mauled. That's on the official to get in position.
Yeah.
He was trailing. So by the time he gets there, the angle that he's looking at, he says jump ball, but he missed about 4 or 5 seconds of a guy getting just hacked.
Yeah.
That's bad on the official not being in position. That's one of my biggest things about that. But, I didn't have a problem with him going zone on the final play but it does. And they forced a mid-range shot, which was a tough shot.
Yeah, they got the shot they wanted.
When you go zone, you allow Seton Hall to be able to crash the glass. They got the rebound. And of course, they won the game.
Yeah. I mean, Creighton did enough to lose that game on their own. I mean, it's not just the officiating. But I will tell you that Harper kid,
yeah,
he's just not smart sometimes when it comes to playing. He plays a lot of one-on-one.
He does.
Which I think McDermott wanted him to do at the end of the game because he had a smaller guard on him. But that stupid foul at the end, that kind of started everything.
He has I like his future. You are right. He has like that one just mental mistake in the second half of big games.
He does.
Yeah.
And there's a reason, Andrew, there have been moments where he's not on the court in end of game situations. Like it kind of happens where Mac just kind of finds another group and he doesn't include them. There are some guys on this Creighton roster that if they're playing well, Mac, is going to go ahead and play them, but he's got short leashes for some guys that I think they thought would have probably been bigger.
Well, and Owen Freeman has been a total bust.
Yeah.
Total bust. I mean, that's been, we missed on a lot of players on this portal. And that's why I think you missed on Harper. I think you missed on Freeman.
Well, you didn't miss on Dix.
No.
Swartz you didn't miss on. I think Blake Harper will be okay. Freeman is the one. He looks disinterested. I mean, he wasn't on the floor at the end.
No.
And you paid a lot of money. What they should do is, they can't do this, but they should take his money away and give it to Jason Green, who has developed a back to the basket game that I didn't think he had in him, outside of what he did at Millard North. Jason Green's turned into a really good player. The Freeman hole is a major miss because he'd be a guy that would be on the floor at the end of the game last night, and he wasn't.
There are, and I think there are guys too, Andrew, that we say, oh, he could play all 5 positions, but then I don't really count that if you're bad at playing the 4 or playing the 5. He's a guy he plays the 5 and he plays it well.
Yeah.
And I will give Nebraska their kudos. They are playing good ball now. And it really, to me, comes down to one player, Matt. He's been a total. I wish we had him.
He changes. He would if he was.
Delightful.
They would have been in the NCAA tournament last year. And Andrew, thanks for the phone call. They would have been in the NCAA tournament last year if Mass was healthy. Fred finally got his George Niang, and he had Rink Mass 2 years ago. Didn't have him last year. He's got him back, and he built the roster around him. I want to go back to Frager and Gibbs. So Grant Gibbs was a great player for Creighton because he could ball, but he also was a pain in the butt, and he drew a lot of attention to the other teams. Everybody needs an Aaron Craft and a Brad Davis, okay? They also need to be pretty good. Frager's going to get a shot to play in the NBA. That's where the difference between him and Gibbs is. Frager actually, may be a day where Grant Gibbs is coaching him in the NBA. But Frager's going to play. Frager is going to develop and get a chance to play for money in this country, either in the G League or the NBA.
Yeah.
That's where they're different. But Nebraska's been searching for that type of player because it's not Sam Hoiberg. Hoiberg is a pest, and Hoiberg plays hard, but Hoiberg's not going to pull out the guns or – I mean, Frager is a little immature. Okay,
yeah,
he's youthful. He plays with a lot of joy. It's kind of nice to see somebody play like that. That also is good.
Yeah,
that isn't a fake good guy. Like I'm a good basketball player. Okay,
I know what you're saying.
So that's something Nebraska's been searching for, and they have that. So when I actually think it's a compliment to Grant Gibbs because Gibbs was so important to those Creighton teams because he was not only good, but he also was the guy that was a pest. And so he took the attention off other players. So the other 4 on the floor, they're like, we can just go out and play. And that whatever that circus is going on over there, he's causing problems that all of a sudden everybody has to pay attention to him.
But your opinion on every good team kind of needs a Richard Head is supported on by fact and history, right? You go through the greatest basketball teams of all time. You have Bill Laimbeer. Right, you have the Dennis Rodmans, you have the Ron Artest, you have the Draymond Greens, you have these guys who are they your best player? No, are they your 3rd best player, 4th best player? Yeah, they're probably around that range, but they bring an attitude and bring an energy that excites the team, and you kind of, I think it gives the team an edge, and the team kind of thinks they're tougher and they got more swag, and they walk with a little bit of confidence because they have that guy, and I think Rink. Man, I loved what he said in the press conference about reeling Braden in after the technical foul. And I loved how right after they get the technical foul, he goes and he hugs him and he tells him, hey, we're good. We need you. Because they needed him in that game. I mean, there weren't a lot of guys who were getting off the 3-point line because they were getting hounded by Michigan State defense. Braden was one of the very few guys who could actually get off the ball, get off a defender and create something with the ball and get the motions moving. He was vitally important. And I think it's a testament to how good of a team Nebraska is because Braden Frager's a guy where he could have 15 points and Nebraska basketball is going to win. He could have 0 points and Nebraska basketball could still win the basketball game. That's just kind of how he is.
I do want to reiterate something. I hate this in college basketball where teams get the identity that they're tough defensively. Like San Diego State, if you remember a couple years ago, and that's kind of been the mantra of Dutcher at San Diego State, is they're known for that. So they and Seton Hall, because we're the Big East and we're physical.
Yeah.
Now I do like their speedy guards, and I mean they're a good story in college basketball because they were picked last in the Big East and they're 13-2, and you're trying to figure out who is the second best team behind UConn. Is it Villanova, who Creighton will see Wednesday night in Philadelphia? Is it Seton Hall? St. John's? They seem like a fringe NCAA team to me.
I know.
Creighton to me seems like more of an NCAA team than St. John's does right now. But with that said, I hate the notion that you're tough defensively so you can just get away with mugging people. It's not just a yesterday Seton Hall is playing Creighton. That is the mantra in college basketball is they're physical, they're tough, and so we'll just let them beat the crap out of whoever they play instead of, you know what, holding them accountable. And there is a limit on how physical you can be. I get it. The conference is known for that, but that last 20 seconds, I mean,
disgusting.
If you had officials that were in position, they probably make a call.
Well, he goes ahead and
or do they swallow? Because don't they make that call? If that call is in the last minute of the first half, don't they make the call?
Easily.
Okay, but
not there. Now, here's another thing too, Gary. Did you notice he put his left arm up before he puts his left arm up as if it's going to be a foul. And then he goes, wait, why did you initially think it was a foul? And then you changed it to the jump ball. And then I remember talking to you last year. You were like, hey, St. John's is good. You got to watch a St. John's game. They're great defensively. And I sat down and I watched them and I go, yeah, they're pretty good defensively, but they foul every play.
They do, but they got away with it.
But they got away with it.
Because they have that reputation. Now, Seton Hall did a great job as Creighton played great defensively. And they were hitting enough shots.
Yeah.
They were not hitting a lot of shots, and they went into that drought at the end of the game. Seton Hall drug them into the mud. Okay. They drug them into the mud where the game became a fist fight instead of a free flowing, I got to break free, when they were up by 15. I mean, it's a loss that now you got to find a way to make up for it, and probably winning Wednesday night. Because I think Villanova is now 17 in the net. They're 21 in Ken Palm when I checked late last night. You got to go now steal one from one that you didn't expect, but you're probably looking at the next 6-game stretch, which is pretty important. Remember, you got Villanova, you got St. John's at home on Saturday, probably minimum 4-2. You just need to keep stacking wins.
Yeah.
And hope that Seton Hall continues to play well, because they got a tough 6-game stretch. Is you hope in February, late February and early March, you're not talking about that game ad nauseum.
You just let it slip. And they're a team that can't let games slip anymore. Like they're not afforded that luxury.
All right. Evan Bland will join us in the next hour with all of you. And don't forget, go to our website. There's a lot of juicy information up there. 1620thezone.com. Chance to win tickets to the Rascal Flatts show. Life is a Highway tour.
They're really milking that, aren't they?
Yeah. Lauren Elena, Chris Lane will be here opening acts. It's Saturday, January 24th at the CHI Health Center.
That song became popular in 2006.
Well, they're back. They were gonna retire or break up, and now they're back together. So Life is a Highway tour is coming to Omaha, and you can go courtesy of 1620thezone.com. Go to the website.
I make all the jokes. I'm probably going to go. Just for that song. That song is the song of my childhood.
I'll be in Kansas City that weekend.
Nice.
Yeah. Was not nice Saturday Night Baxter with Kansas City. That's true.
No.
All right. Break time. Again, Evan Bland coming up the next hour. We'll talk about Kenny Minchie.
Yeah. I'm excited, actually.
Fair. No, that's fair. That's
I'm excited.
Fair. No, that's fair. You don't have to apologize. It's fair. A lot of people have the same reaction.
We'll talk about it.
We will. On 1620 The Zone. All right, it's not only a big week around the state for men's basketball, so women's basketball. Creighton snapped their losing streak yesterday. Nice win against Butler. They have number 1 UConn at home on Sunday. And then the Nebraska women yesterday snapped their losing streak. They beat Purdue by 16. They have a big week with Indiana and UCLA. So welcome to a basketball state with some portaling activity in football.
You could say that. I mean, the last year for basketball in the state of Nebraska has been great. Creighton made it to the NCAA tournament. Omaha made it to the NCAA tournament. Nebraska
March Mavs.
Nebraska women's basketball was ranked and been playing great. On top of that, you've had Nebraska men's basketball still has the longest winning streak in the country, dating all the way back. They haven't lost the last time that.
Daddy.
There's some really great tweets about that after that.
Not sure where that one came from, but
I don't know where it came from either. When did Nebraska become daddy? And when did the Big Ten say we don't have room? You know, those are the two questions I ask.
I don't know that he used that line, but I'm glad that Ken is being recognized nationally. People are having fun with it. He's a celeb, man. Hey, I think Coach Smith had to start their post game show because Kent's taking selfies with people, high fiving people. Just want, I don't know if he's going to make it through the year with the way that they play, some of these wins. Just one time. That's all he wants. One time, call a victory in the NCAA tournament. I think it'd be cool to call one more football game. That's probably not going to happen. But just one time, I hope Kent works out, by the way. So if you're like, you have a new gym membership.
Sure. You'll see him.
Kent is religious about working out at his gym. But yes, by the way, have some patience, especially you, because you're starting this health kick in 2026. You're going to go to your gym today, and it's going to be packed. So let's vets, let's try and not give the side eye to newbies, because some of them won't be there in a couple of weeks, and you'll be able to get back on your machines.
Yeah.
But celebrate that people are trying to turn their life around and get healthy, and hopefully they go longer than a New Year's resolution. But yeah, gyms are going to be packed today because it's the first Monday back.
It is.
All right. So you're one of the newbies.
Okay. Stop.
People are be like,
don't act as if I haven't been to a gym before and I don't know what I'm doing. When I came here, and you know this,
and you're a New Year's resolution guy.
You've done a good job of biting your tongue about this. You know that when I came here from Chicago a year ago, I low-key was cocky. Okay. I was in shape. I had muscles, jawline was great. There was a reason why I was going on a lot of dates very early on in taking this job. Things were rolling.
So does Zone ruin your dating life?
No, it's my lack of discipline.
And don't bury the lead. I think Jimmy's on to something.
No, my lack.
We had an idea. For
my
16,
lack
20 the date
of discipline and lack of routine and just unknowingness of how to handle having a full-time job, and also put in my also like have my health be at the forefront
day to day, my friend.
Yeah, no, that's what it was. That's what happened. It was nobody's fault other than my own. But I know my way around a gym. All right. I'm not going to be like, oh, I wonder what this does. Like, no, I know when I just got away from it. I'm just getting back into it. I work out of my apartment too.
Oh,
well, me and Dmitrievich, we're just pumping iron.
Different. But I was one of those people that said I'm going to get healthy, so I went to a gym. And I probably didn't know exactly what I was doing, but somebody helped me. So maybe be a friend, tell a friend. I help somebody out because there's going to be a lot of new people in the gym. But Kent is religious about going to his gym. So I think health-wise he'll be able to make it through. I just hope, that they give him something. And he also continues to add phrases.
I need you to hold my hand
Make room for daddy.
I need you to hold my hand when I buy a car this year. I don't need you to hold my hand when I go ahead and work out, which I actually might need your help when I go and buy a car. It might be something we have to talk about.
Yeah. Joey, who is familiar with Kent's workout routine, says Kent's in great shape.
He is in great shape.
Yeah.
A great guy.
I mean, plus he gets his aerobic activity when he's standing up because he can't see from the official standing in the way.
You know what? I don't think it's rude for you to say he may not make it through this year, because he's literally said it on the air. This team is going to be the end of me.
All right, Nebraska, an underdog tonight, slight underdog at Ohio State. That's a 5:30 game. So peace out from the office early. What are we, FS1 or Big Ten Network?
Ooh.
Steve Smith's on the call tonight.
The Carolina wide receiver?
Yes.
Yes.
Side note, because Friday and yesterday,
FS1.
Peacock does a great job.
They do.
Peacock,
They
Big
do.
Ten basketball and Big East basketball being on Peacock. And then their studio shows know both leagues. And they know the teams. Like, it was nice, you know Michigan
good.
State, but they
Yeah.
knew Nebraska. And then yesterday, it was Jordan Cornette, who Chicago guy.
Yeah, great guy.
I mean, he knows Creighton really, really well. So, I mean, Peacock does a really good job. So FS1 tonight or on the Husker Sports Network, which we are not.
We are not.
And you can't get in Omaha. All right. We all have signal problems.
I guess we do.
Yeah. All right, 2 in the books, 2 to go. Evan Bland will join us at the bottom of the hour. When we come back, when Ohio rolls into Lincoln on September 5th, the quarterback will be. We'll discuss next on 1620 The Zone. I'm driving in this morning. You know, a lot of people that work our hours. We were here on Friday. We're back today, so everything is regular again. A lot of people have been off for the holidays.
The long holiday, the longest holiday ever.
Wasn't really a holiday for yours truly.
Why? Well, you were working.
I was working. I was
Brookings.
I was Brookings.
Yeah.
Eugene was fun.
Oh yeah,
Eugene
yeah.
looks awesome.
And it smelled great.
It did. It did. What they're doing with Oregon football is scary.
Did you feel like you were visiting the Death Star?
Well,
That's in Arlington.
I want to go back so the plan is for us to be in Oregon.
Yeah.
For 1620 The Zone House, probably to watch Dylan Raiola play against his old mates. Guess that's the thing today.
The market's getting smaller, so that might end up being the case.
There people that are involved in that program were telling me they have a local kid.
Oh.
So they had when I was up there, they had one of their quarterbacks was transferring to Kentucky. Is he following his OC? But they have a high school kid who's local. I don't know if he's Eugene or Portland, but he's from the state of Oregon.
Yeah.
That they've kind of been grooming, but it's Oregon, so they'll get into the portal. They are building a new football facility that inside of the facility where they have the practice part, they will be able to simulate weather and noise.
That's crazy.
So they will be able to, inside of their football facility when it opens in 2027, and it looks like a
I
spaceship.
heard about the weather.
They're going to be able to, like, it'll rain. They'll have fog and rain in there.
Crazy.
Yeah,
That's like
That is
Star Trek
so
stuff.
no, seriously. That is absolutely ridiculous
got
that
Genesis.
they can do that. By the way, who even thinks of that? Who even thinks like, hey, do you know what would make this facility better?
Smart football organizations.
Dude, seriously. And I'm not, when I say like who thinks of that, I'm not saying it like I'm not making fun of them. I'm saying who thinks of that and like, that's so smart to do that and simulate, like, you kind of, like Bill Belichick talks about it a lot, where it's like you got to kind of hope that it rains and then you go ahead and you take advantage, can do the wet ball drills and stuff like that to like prepare yourself. The fact that you don't have to cross your fingers and hope that you perform on a day that it's raining. The fact that you could just be like, hey, it's wet ball day. We're going to go ahead. We're going to crank up the moisture up to 38% or something.
Good programs. They take care of all the details. They think about all the details that are going to come up during the course of a game. You think about, hey, are we going to play in a bowl game where it's going to be physical against a team that's from the Big 12 that is like kind of their mantra? Maybe we had a tackle during practice.
Sure,
but we're on 2026. Kenny Minchie.
Yeah.
A quarterback edition or the quarterback for 2026. We're going to have a competition, and I am very, very sicko on this. As I looked at the limited amount of Kenny Minchie film that is out there, more high school than Notre Dame, my first thought is, will he be able to run the ball on his own in the red zone? So is Nebraska's starting quarterback.
It's an interesting thought.
Did he have his day yesterday?
I think, look, so watching some of there's a 5-minute highlight tape on YouTube. So I went ahead and I watched it. You cannot deny his athletic ability. He was a 4-star for a reason. He's got good height, good weight. He can move. He can throw on the run, which is really important. I think that rolling right, rolling left, being able, more so rolling right, especially if you're not able to make like the offensive line additions that you're hoping, right? You're going to have to get the quarterback out of the pocket. You're going to have a quarterback that's athletic enough to do it and accurate enough to do it. And it seems like he can do that. So that's positive. I think that a lot of the things that he can do, Latif will be able to do as well. And so I think that I like that there's an actual direction with the quarterback position. I'm less so focused on, hey, this is like who the guy is, and I'm more so just happy, like, okay, clearly they have an archetype and clearly they have a vision for how they want to operate the offense, which seems like a bare minimum. But when you're talking about a team that lacks an offensive identity, it's refreshing to be like, okay, hey, they actually have one foot in front of the other in terms of what they want to do at the QB position. So we'll see. I mean, it's, most of the stuff that he did was against one of the worst Purdue teams I've ever seen in my entire life.
So let's I would kind of want to check on another fan base when they lose a coach or they lose a player.
Sure.
What the reaction is.
Yeah.
And across the board, A+ human being who stuck it out for 3 years under Marcus Freeman. So he's been in that winning culture. He took CJ Carr to the final weekend before they played Miami.
Yeah.
And CJ Carr next year, 27, is going to be a drafted quarterback. I think the kind of size quarterback that Freeman wanted isn't what Minchie is.
Yeah.
But they weren't
Great
going to
call.
kick Minchie to the curb. But Notre Dame people that follow the program or are diehard fans, even some that are in our listening audience, they love the kid.
Yeah.
There's like, and I don't think he was promised the starting position, but if you're looking at Nebraska and you're looking at Latif did nothing to close the door,
No.
unfortunately. Now, I still think there's something there in Latif. But when a guy commits out of the portal and he's your first quarterback, you say goodbye to that guy.
Yeah.
Not so fast.
Yeah.
I'm very, very interested in what the spring's going to look like around here. But Latif did it to himself because Minchie, who wants to play, isn't going to look at Nebraska if he looks at Latif and he's like, oh, man, that guy's going to be tough to beat out. He's like, oh, I could see I could go in there and beat him out. Now, Nebraska also isn't going to get a top-line quarterback because of Dylan, okay? Because Dylan didn't develop.
Yeah.
Okay, Dylan didn't become this slam dunk 2027 first-round NFL guy. So Nebraska doesn't have that like LSU or Oregon or Miami, places that are producing quarterbacks that get the best of the best out of the portal. So I'm excited to see competition. But again, I was thinking, can he run the football in the red zone? And
that's
also,
such a sicko thought from you, but it's correct. When it comes to red zone football, Gary, they don't have, let's just call a spade a spade. They don't have a dynamic playmaker on offense right now. They don't. They don't have a top end guy that they can throw the football to or hand the football to that you think, hey, they're just going to go ahead and score in the red zone. And so when you don't have that, what do you need? You need options.
Yeah.
So it's crazy that you're thinking that in January about a quarterback that may not even end up being the starter, but it's the red zone is one of those things like they kept talking about and they kept addressing it in the offseason, and like a lot of things that they talked about and addressed in the offseason, it didn't get fixed.
Yeah. Another part of, and it's okay to be cautious because Nebraska's evaluation of quarterbacks has been a little bit,
it's been bad.
But Latif was highly ranked, but what if he's not the guy and he doesn't pan out here? Because you know what's coming in 2027.
Yeah.
Now, Minchie having a couple of years and being old is good. But here's the other thing that I don't know. And look, to be honest, we don't know exactly how this is going to work with him.
No.
Is what is his football IQ? Because the more I think about Holgorsen and whatever Nebraska wants to do on offense, and we still don't know, and whose offense it is, and, is that person with Dana Holgorsen, I think, has to be really, really smart.
Yeah.
Okay. Has to be high level IQ. And I would think if you look at the quarterbacks from Riley Leonard, who got run yesterday for Indianapolis.
He looked great yesterday.
Fortunately, 25 straight games that have been losers for Notre Dame quarterbacks in the NFL.
Great stat,
the last guy that is a Notre Dame quarterback that has won a game in the NFL,
Brady Quinn. Brady Quinn.
You didn't even let me finish. I was going to say, I'd buy you lunch if you knew. Yeah, Brady Quinn.
Yeah.
You know who he's playing for?
The Browns.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Whoa.
Yes.
Good stat.
So, Riley Leonard transferred.
Yeah.
So you look at CJ Carr, who is going to be in 27, which is going to be a loaded quarterback class.
It's gonna be
That's why Moore needs to come out, because next year is going to be, Arch is going to lead it. But you have to be, it looks like in their quarterback room, if you're going under Marcus Freeman, you got to be a high-level thinker.
Yeah.
And so that's, I think, an important part of Nebraska football needs to follow the Nebraska basketball model. Get old, stay old. I'm sick and tired, and I know there's the transition of every year we go, well, Nebraska has 147 guys that are underclassmen.
Mm-hmm.
That needs to change. Nebraska, and I think in the portal, as you look at guys that they're going after, and they do love those guys that have 2 years.
Yeah.
But they also are going after guys that have just 1 year. You have to get old, and then you have to find a way to stay old. Look at the teams that are still playing in college football.
You're right.
They're old. They are older teams. So Nebraska has this opportunity after 90-plus guys last year to be a little bit older and then add older guys. So having an older guy at that position who will be in, his 4th year of college football?
Yes, be his 4th.
Not a lot of football he's played. Latif probably has played more football than Minchie has.
He has, yeah.
But I think being old, but the IQ, That's what I'm waiting to see on Latif. But I'm not gonna abandon Latif. I'm ready for the competition, and I think it'll make Latif better.
Yeah.
And if Minchie beats out Latif, then let's go. But who's going to be the next guy they're going to add?
Sure.
I mean, even thought about when Danny Kaelin announced he was going to the portal. Would you bring him back? But they're going to go get another guy.
I think Danny should go somewhere else. I think Danny should go to a place where he has a legitimate shot at playing as much football as possible. I mean, from a selfish perspective, I wouldn't mind having another, potential highly rated quarterback. I think too, Gary, we're seeing it in both college football and the NFL as well, that defenses are evolving and they're getting better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never been more complicated in terms of trying to read defenses. And so that's why it's standard at this point to have multiple calls and multiple checks and check in things and check out of things. And I think let's just be frank, I feel like more oftentimes than not, when we were talking about Dylan checking in and out of stuff, it was more, this bad play, Dylan checked into it,
Mm-hmm.
And so I wonder how much freedom that these quarterbacks are now given based on maybe some of the things that they experienced in the past. And, I think that if you're going to be a successful quarterback in football, period, in general, you have to be good at checking in and out of things. And you have to be super smart. Like Caleb yesterday, he did not check into good plays yesterday. Like he had a bad game in terms of killing plays at the line and reading defenses. Like this isn't, I agree with you. If you're going to be a Dana Holgorsen offensive piece, you got to be smart. I think if you're just going to be a good football player now with the evolution of defenses, you got to be really good at reading them.
I also think here's one other thing I'm on to is I
Sure.
look at what's on the roster. Keep refreshing. Running backs. What are we doing?
I got to give you my list. I brought the list back from Chicago.
Is Nebraska going to make the transition where the quarterback is not the end all be all on the roster, where they can win games when the quarterback is not Superman, when they can win football games? And I'm sorry, earmuffs. Iowa's been able to do this when your quarterback doesn't throw for 300 yards.
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't like Dylan was throwing for 300 yards every game, but kind of you see what I'm getting at.
No, I know
is
what you're
that
saying.
You have other elements of your team in a trenches sport where you need to run the ball, that you can do those things if your quarterback's having a bad day, and he doesn't always have to be the guy to bail you out. Now, there's probably going to be 2 or 3 games in the Big Ten where you're going to need the quarterback to be the best player on the field.
Sure.
But there's also 9 other games you're going to play. And if you're always relying on the quarterback, I mean, you got to have a superstar. I think Nebraska makes the transition where they don't need the quarterback to be they don't need the Adrian Martinez, Taylor Martinez, Dylan Raiola. They have enough around them that they can win football games when maybe the quarterback is having a bad day.
Yeah. I just think what you're referring to is they just need to have a more talented, better roster. That's just what you're referring to. They need to have more options.
The roster lifts the quarterback instead of asking the quarterback to lift the roster.
Bang. That's what you're asking for. And it's just really frustrating, Gary, where I feel like what we're asking for, a lot of other teams have, and a lot of other teams have been able to accomplish. And it just,
well, not everybody's created equal. Some people have some flaws that they're working through.
Sure. But we go ahead and what are we asking? You're asking for them to have better players that is not fully reliant on one guy being able to, win a game. And what I'm asking for
you get a reset. I think you wanted to do that in your first year.
Yeah.
And then you had Dylan for 2 years.
But,
so now you get a chance to reset that position.
But I think
and definitely reset the offense.
You're asking for a more talented roster, and I'm asking for an identity. And I feel like there's about over 10 teams in the Big Ten who have been able to do both in the time that Nebraska has been, here with Matt Rule as their head coach.
Now there are some Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, ironically all playoff teams where they're going to have Superman at quarterback.
They are,
but then there are going to be other teams that. I mean, everybody needs like a Luke Altmaier, right?
Well, everybody needs like a Rourke over from Indiana. He wasn't a draftable guy,
or a Mark Gronowski.
Yes, I think that. I mean, you could go down the line, and I know it always comes back to them, but Northwestern, like Peyton Ramsey was a pretty damn good quarterback for them. He didn't get drafted.
He
didn't. Well, but it's another good example of the points that you're making of like you don't necessarily need Hercules to be your quarterback. You're fine with a role player that is able to just get the ball to your best players. Hell, honestly, like in the recent history of Ohio State, it's not like they've had the superstar quarterback, right? Will Howard was a 5th-round draft pick, right? And
but they've
Julian,
had guys that have been drafted.
well, no, I'm
Justin
saying two in the last 2 seasons. Stroud and Fields, yes, those were 1st-round quarterbacks. Don't get me wrong, but like even I'm just saying the last 2 seasons, it's not like Sayan and Howard have been asked to do more than just, hey, you see that great wide receiver, get the ball in his hand.
Now, Sayan with an extra year, next year will look different.
He'll be very good. He was so accurate on the deep balls this season. It was ridiculous.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. Evan Bland will join us coming up at the bottom of the hour. You can always join us right here on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Like Nebraska Ball, Mike and Andrew have already gotten in for 2026. And each week we're going to be giving away a $100 gift card. The Sky Bar and Grill right there at Prairie Flower Casino.
Yes.
They've expanded the menu.
Okay.
They've tweaked it a little bit. Good food, good service.
Great service.
Good location. Good date night.
Did you go on a date night there?
I've been on a date there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good time. You play Huff and Puff? What'd you play? You play the slots? You play they got tables there now.
No.
The digital roulette. I love the digital roulette.
It was Rach and I there. It was a while back. It was like they had recently refined the Sky Bar and Grill.
It's a very nice looking casino. It's very clean.
Go to 1620thezone.com for more information, and you could win a $100 gift card, which will get you some good grub at Sky Bar and Grill at Prairie Flower Casino. It's Gary and Matt with Jimmy on 1620 The Zone. Have you guys heard or seen the Masters commercial?
I did. I gave an audible gasp when I saw it. I was like, oh my God. Georgia.
It doesn't have to change. It can be the same commercial, the same song, but it kind of hits you a little bit differently right after Christmas when the Masters commercial starts airing on ESPN or
So
ABC.
You get excited, man. I think I'm going to do it again. I think I'm going to get the full Masters.
How can you not?
Dude, it's literally
great
all
idea.
80% of our cups are Masters 2025. We bought that thing and we haven't bought cups since. It's just we're good. We're good forever.
Yeah,
They're the
food's good for you.
perfect. They're the perfect cups. They're perfect for drinking water. They're perfect for making drinks. They're perfect.
Anything.
They're incredible.
So I went to Ken Pomeroy,
Yes.
kenpom.com.
I
Because
like
wanted
how you use his full name every time. Everybody calls it Ken Pom, and you use his full government name.
I've met Ken Pomeroy in person, so
Is
I guess
Ken-
I got to call him Ken Pomeroy.
Do you know his middle name? That'd be great.
No, I do not. Do you know a lot of people's middle names? What's my middle name?
See, that's a great question. You told me.
By the way,
that.
Nebraska is now behind Villanova in the Ken Pom.
What's with you and the Star Trek references?
That is weird. I'm not even a Trekkie.
I know. Michael, Gary,
Star
Michael
Trek
Sharp.
2 is
Sure.
really good.
Sure, good Catholic middle name.
Yeah. Am I wrong?
John?
Yes,
John's
you're
a good
wrong.
one.
What is your middle name?
What? I'm named after an apostle. Apostle.
Hostel. Yeah,
Hostel.
hostel. Brothel.
Judas. Whoa.
Okay.
That was too easy. That was an easy one. Matthew.
Do you even know the apostle?
Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Peter? Are you Peter? Gary Peter Sharp?
No, Peter's in the other room.
No. Okay. We're not going to do this. anymore.
What is your middle name?
No, you have to.
Mine's James.
Just keep guessing.
I don't know the 12 apostles' names off the top of my head. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Peter.
Those were the big four.
We're the big
It was
four.
a good starting five.
Who's the Big 10 of the apostles?
Ooh.
Coming up next on Take 5. Who's the SEC of the apostles?
See, I
Have you
was
seen
kind
the
of
apostle.
I was kind of hoping that you would go into like when I say guess,
Yeah.
you would just go into the scene from Ted where he starts to guess the white trash names.
Heather, Becky? Is it one of those names with the Lynn after it?
Tiffany, Candace,
Brianna,
Okay.
Heather,
All right. So I went to
Maggie Lynn, Tammy
I
Lynn.
went to Ken Pom. By the way, Nebraska's a 2.5-point underdog tonight at Ohio State. Ken Pom has it 78-77.
It was a good game.
But I wanted to look up, in particular, John Gaffney, who was the guy that was right there that called the jump ball. I wanted to see where he ranked on Ken Pom's ref ratings.
Oh, sure.
He is 12th out of the 200 officials that are ranked on Ken Pom.
Whoa.
Do you know who is number one?
Kelly Pfeiffer.
Good guess.
No, where is Kelly? I saw Kelly on New Year's Day.
I know you told me that he wouldn't tell you what his next assignments were.
And it was not
Yeah,
Nebraska.
So I asked him, I said, hey, are you working in Lincoln tomorrow night? And he wouldn't say. Hey, he's 41st.
Good
Wow.
for Kelly.
Oh, I don't think that's good.
That's not
Out
good.
of 200 people,
I mean,
Yeah, but
you're in the top 20%.
you're in the top 40.
number one listens to the show. I'm a big fan. I one day will have a bald head like him. Kip Kissinger,
Nice.
Hi.
who is
Shout out
who has
Kip.
already worked 55 games. He has worked the
My
most
God.
games of anybody in college basketball.
My
Kip has
goodness.
worked. Well, he's in demand.
Yeah.
He's the number one official on
Not ice
Ken Pom.
bags.
55 games.
That's true.
That's. I was about
see,
to say,
high-
you got to
high-
be an
high-
athlete, man.
High knees is 10th.
Wow.
Brooks Wells, who is another local.
Mhm.
Shout out Brooks. He doesn't work in the summer league anymore because he's gotten.
Man, we
He's-
got a lot
he's
of good
above
refs
the
here.
summer
I was
league.
about to say.
Kevin
Brooks-
Marr, Rose Bowl.
Yeah, Brooks is 13th. So Brooks has worked 52 games.
So here's
Damn.
here's a good question. How do they do that? How do they rank? How does he rank the referees? What are?
Probably.
I feel like that's a PFF type deal. Like it's
Yeah.
opinionated.
I don't know. Kip is like number one by a nice little margin over Keith Kimball, who is a
Okay.
Big Ten guy.
Okay.
He's the
So what?
Indiana.
But what I'm
football.
also saying is, officials matter.
They do.
Shout out Higgy.
Officiating will be big tonight because Ohio State gets the line about 22 times a game, and
Great
they
stat.
shoot 79% from the line. So Nebraska, for the most part, has done a good job of not fouling.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go on the road, you don't expect a friendly whistle.
No.
When you go to the Rock to play Seton Hall and things are getting tight in the last 10 minutes, you expect sometimes, hey, that's not a jump ball. But you kind of you factor, hey, I know this when Omaha goes on the road and they play these Power 4 games, you know that you're not going to get a friendly whistle.
Sure.
Hell, Omaha didn't get a friendly whistle on Saturday night at home. My God.
Well, I know, and I've, watching Crutch, like Crutch works the referees. Like I loved when he got that tech against Murray State. And then all of a sudden he gets the next 4 calls. Like you gotta work, guys.
By the way, shout out Murray State and Ryan Miller. They won again yesterday.
Yeah.
They're
Wow.
13-3.
Good for them.
They're if they make the NCAA tournament, they'll be a team that I will move to the next round. The way they're built.
I think tonight against Ohio State will be very interesting just because the teams that Nebraska's played that you're nervous about, they've been a lot bigger than Nebraska, right? Michigan State, Illinois, when, they have the ability to rebound a lot and get the second chance points. Tonight, it will be interesting because Ohio State isn't very big. Their 2 guards are 6'2" and they only have 1 7-footer, but their effective field goal percentage is 58%. It's one of the best in the country. So, I mean, it's a team that can shoot. They can shoot the cover off the ball.
Well, they have Thornton, Royal, and Mobley Jr.
Yeah.
But Nebraska has Rink. They have White Boy Rick. They have Sam. They have Price.
That's such a good nickname.
Hey, they are a blue-collar team that you can embrace. They got a Rink. They got a Bear K. They got an Oogie. They got a Sam. I mean, they have these peculiar names.
Sam is not a peculiar name.
There's not a lot of people named Sam.
There's plenty of people named Sam.
Oh, I don't know.
Sam Cassell.
Okay, these are older guys.
Good point.
We got to talk about guys that are 18 to 22.
Sam Cassell could drop 18 to 22.
I'm not friends with a Sam.
Okay,
well, I'm
debunking.
Kind
I'm
of.
friends with Sam Hoiberg, but
Sam Levitt.
good one. Great job.
Mm-hmm.
I know more
Where
Samanthas.
did
I know
he
a
end up?
ton of Samanthas.
Where did he end up? Kentucky?
Kentucky, yeah. $5 million could go to Kentucky.
Do we know that?
That it was reported.
Yeah.
We don't know any of this stuff.
What do you think? What do you
all
think
fugazi.
Minchie's getting paid?
Kenny?
That'd be his first name. Yes.
Kenneth?
Ken?
Oh, we're gonna call him Ken Minchie?
No, we're not.
If he ends up being great,
no, we're not.
if he ends up being awesome in like 10 years,
Kenneth F. Minchie.
Yeah. Can you imagine in 15 years if Kenny Minchie ends up being a dog, you'd be like, you remember Ken Minchie, man?
No, we're not.
That's when he became a man. That's
We're
when
not.
Michael Jordan went from Mike to Michael.
This might be
rule
why
era
this
took
might-
off.
This
It,
might,
it,
this
went-
might
it
be-
skyrocketed because of Ken Minchie.
this might. No, we're not. It's Kenny. Okay.
Kenny's a little
to
bit of that's
manifest.
Kenny.
People that want to be Joey for a long time, go ahead and be Joey. Even if you're in your mid 50s and you're still referred to as Joey, you don't need to
no.
drop the Y.
You do.
I went to
at
school with a
some
guy named
point-
Joey Myers. Okay.
Yeah,
I saw him
Joey Meyer, yeah.
like 7-8 years after we were out of high school. And
He was still Joey?
he introduced himself as Joe.
I would tell.
He goes, no,
yeah,
it's now Joe.
Yeah.
You know what? Screw that. You're Joey. Be Joey. Embrace Joey.
That's
Why do you
like
got to
our
drop
Joey.
the Y?
Our Joey
Okay.
wants to be Joey.
No, but
he's
I would tell
Joey.
Joey Colbert right to his face that at some point in his life he needs to drop the Y.
This might be
No.
why Nebraska basketball has a chance because they have a unique first name team. Connor, Sam, Kendall, Braden,
It's got
Will,
nothing to do with their
Justin,
shooting
Bearcay,
ability.
Jamarcus, Quentin, Oogie, Jared, Price, Kale. Congratulations. I think he got engaged, by the way.
Kale?
Yeah, Kale Jacobson.
With
Leo,
Bergen?
Henry, and Rink.
wow.
Well,
That would be a breaking
now,
news.
if it was not Bergen Riley, that would be
Does
big
she
news.
know?
Very big news.
Yeah.
Congratulations to them.
I
That's
believe
awesome.
I saw on my TikToker
Yeah.
that they announced their engagement.
Oh, I took Dylan Raiola off of notifications yesterday.
It took you this long.
It took me I forgot he
You were busy.
existed.
You were busy.
I forgot he existed.
Because he's very smart. He's kept it very quiet. He's very quiet out of the camp.
Yeah, but where is the thank you Nebraska? Oh my God, where is it? We need it.
Might be thank you, Nebraska, when he plays against Nebraska and Eugene next year.
Might be thank you Nebraska when he gets a big fat paycheck.
How awkward would that be?
I think it'd be fun.
For who?
For everybody. I think for fans. I think there are fans. I think you'd
Good
be
for this
surp-
business.
I think for fans, you'd be surprised that there would probably be a large conglomerate of people who would want to play Dylan Raiola. I mean, we know the playbook on him. You just got to get into, 2 feet away from him and you'll probably take a sack.
All right, I'm on to Minchie.
Ken.
Knee. Jason says my old man is in his 60s, still Jimmy. Thank you.
Okay. I mean, that's
I'm
solid.
almost in my mid
I'm not gonna make
60s.
fun of him.
This will never be Jim or James. He'll always be a
You
Jimmy.
are
it will.
Jimmy. I forgot
I will
about
always-
that.
It says it
Hey!
on my birth certificate.
Jimmy, Matt, Jimmy.
Well, I remember the
It-
first time we met, I called him Jimbo, and you were like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have that cachet yet.
You got to be close to me to
You
get
know
away
what?
with
I'm a
that one.
nickname guy. I really don't care.
I know
Like-
because you're a hockey guy.
I know.
Yeah.
Dude, I understand the US is awesome and they got a really good roster and
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
and-
country.
I thought we were talking.
and Canada, their roster's pretty good. But
We
I'll tell you
invaded
this right
someone
now, man. If the Russians were able to play in the Olympics, that roster would be so
Hey,
good.
Sergey.
Hey,
Dude.
asking for a friend. Why can't the Russians
meet-
play in the Olympics?
They're not allowed in the Winter Olympics
Why?
Why?
because of
They invented winter.
there's a war. I think it's the war, right? The war's going on. and
The
then
Cold
there's-
War ended.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, Rocky
with
ended.
Ukraine. Yeah, I think that's still going on. I just know. I'm not trying to get into politics. I just know that they're not allowed to get to play in the Olympics.
I didn't know. I was like waiting for you to explain it.
I really didn't.
No,
know
I know,
either.
no.
I
I'm
mean,
just all I was just saying is, man, they're
All right.
Pretty good roster.
Evan doesn't go by any other name.
Ev.
No.
Call him E when we get back. E Bland here.
No. I'd like to call him Evan.
Anybody ever call you G?
Yes.
Yeah. Never one. No one's
Franklin,
G-Funk.
No one's
G-Funk,
G Sharp.
Sharpie.
I call you Sharpie.
Most people call me Sharpie.
I like Gare. Gare's a good one.
No.
See,
Garester.
drop the Y. You should drop the Y
No,
too.
I didn't personally drop the Y. I will
It'd be
never be
Gar Sharp.
Gar Sharp.
Gar. Nice to meet you.
All right, Evan Bland joins us next. Lots to sift through in portaling, and it's our first time we talked to Evan post Vegas.
Oh wow, yeah.
Encouraged or infuriated?
Probably infuriated.
Evan joins us next on 1620 The Zone. All right, it's the new year. It never stops. It's the portal year, chaos over a 2-week span as we welcome Evan Bland, who has been extremely busy. Good morning.
Morning, guys.
Hey, do you enjoy covering portal activity or high school recruit activity?
You know, they're different in a lot of ways. Like in the in the portal, it's guys who typically don't want to make a big show of it. And I mean, it's really come down now to like the national guys at recruiting sites talking to agents and having these deals set up. Like it's such a streamlined, different sort of thing. Whereas in high school, if you're talking to a 2027 kid right now, for example, like you could probably get him on the phone and he'd be pretty transparent with you. Like even if he was a higher end guy. But like the thing about high school recruiting, of course, is it's a lot more kind of long-term projectable stuff. So, I mean, there are guys in the 27 class who don't even know what position they would play in college yet, whereas it's a lot more defined in the portal. So I guess I would say I like the portal just in the sense of like you have, it does feel more like an NFL style, like what's the need? Where does the person fit in? And then I kind of enjoy the stories, like just the individual, like just everyone's individual stories. I mean, you've got guys who were lower level guys, or maybe they bounced after 1 year somewhere, or they're grad transfers looking to finish out somewhere else, or they got an extra year because they were hurt. Like it's just, there are so many ways that they end up where they do. And so I kind of like that. I kind of enjoy, it's like a whole year of recruiting condensed into 2 weeks when you talk about setting up visits and how you figure all that out. So give me the portal, but I'm perfectly happy with it being just 2 weeks and not all consuming all year.
For the record, Evan Bland enjoys speed dating. Okay. So let's talk about the portal that is taketh away. And there's 18, and we can kind of go through and go, yeah, that makes sense. Wasn't going to play. Makes sense. And then a guy who went into the portal last year, they paid. He came back, played for a first-year position coach, currently doesn't have a position coach. Keona Davis announces he's back in the portal, looking for a new home. Does this make sense that Keona Davis is in the portal and his time at Nebraska is over?
Well, we don't have all the information, which is part of it. Part of it could have been what was his price, what was he asking for, what was he being offered somewhere else. Like sometimes that could be compelling. It is noteworthy that he did go in the portal and came out a year ago when Nebraska said, hey, we want to keep you and we're going to invest in you to stay. Now the production that came out of that year wasn't probably what he or Nebraska envisioned. And I think some of that you can put on scheme. Like, I don't know that Keona Davis's ceiling is going to be reached as an interior defensive lineman. Like, I was intrigued at the notion of him playing more of a defensive end in Rob Orrich's system next year. I thought that could have been something where he really could have thrived. So, we're gonna miss out on that. I think wherever he ends up, he'll probably do well. Like, I think the thing that I've heard from fans is that, like, well, okay, is anybody really indispensable in this time when the defense struggled as much as it did? And the answer is no. But like, you don't want to get in the business of saying goodbye to guys like Davis who have some great upside. And has he reached it yet? No. And did his old position coach do him a favor by comparing him to Ndamukong Suh a couple years ago? No. But like, that's a guy who's got the motor and the body to still develop into a quality Big Ten defensive lineman in an area where Nebraska needs all the guys like that they can get. And so I think a lot of it's on Nebraska for not having developed him and put him in the right spot to succeed to this point. We still don't know what their plan is with the defensive line coach. Maybe it's internally it's known and set, but from the outside, it's a deal where they still don't have a position coach there. So that doesn't help your situation either. I will say, like in the big picture, Nebraska hasn't had a lot of those guys this year where you're just like, ouch, that's a guy you want to keep.
Sure.
Raiola, you could put in that mix. I think to a point, Malcolm Hartzog, you could put in that discussion, and really Davis is the only other one to me that stands out in that way. So we'll see where he ends up. But certainly a situation where I think if Nebraska were in a different scenario, they'd like to keep him in the fold.
So, we've seen in the past, Matt Rule using high school as the building blocks of this program, and then using the portal kind of as supplemental pieces, right? To maybe hold over some positions while younger guys develop. And now they're using the portal in a way where it's quite the opposite. The portal pieces in a way are the building blocks, and they are going to be some of the most important players on the roster. Does that shift from supplemental to foundational? Is that concerning to you, or is that Matt Rule adapting with the times?
Well, I don't think you want to overdo it. I think it maybe at the most you can find a balance somewhere in the middle, but we're already seeing through a few days of open portal season, you can have a plan and you can have a board, but it still comes down to these players making their own decisions. And sometimes it's not entirely based on money. Sometimes it's based on old relationships or where they want to go or different scenarios. So I don't think any school really can feel comfortable saying, we're going to fix all our needs in the portal. We're going to get our guys, and that's going to be that. There's just too many unknowns, too many variables. What I will say is not every portal ad is created equal, because you're going to have a lot of one and dones, but you're also going to have guys like we still can't judge Williams Nwaneri as a portal ad because he's still got 3 more years of eligibility, right? If Nebraska gets Will Hawthorne from Iowa State, that's a guy who redshirted last year and has 4 years. That's essentially a high school signee, more or less. So there's such a nuance to it where it's not even just about portal versus high school. It's how many years left of eligibility do you have to develop them? Is it truly a 1-year rental, plug and play, stopgap sort of thing too? So I think all of that you have to look into a little bit. Sometimes they're going back and leveraging past relationships, either with new coaches that are here, or maybe they were guys that they recruited in high school and now they're circling back on because their circumstances have changed. And so I think ideally, you want to build up these strong high school classes and develop these guys, and then pick your spots and be selective and fill in the gaps where you can. I think Nebraska's list is probably longer than it's normally comfortable being. Usually you'd love to develop your own guys a little bit more and have them stick around, but it does seem like whether through identification misses or guys that just sort of have stalled in their development, they are having to go out and the list is still really long. You got your quarterback, but you probably still want another one. And then every other position is still up for grabs, and you have guys at the top of the board that are signing elsewhere. So the urgency level is still awfully high, and I think Nebraska is probably in a place where it's taken more guys in the portal than it would prefer to in an ideal world.
What does it say that your first portal commitment, and I don't believe he's officially visited, I thought that was supposed to be in the next day or two, that your first commitment is a quarterback? Any insight on that's the plan, or that's where we start, or that's how we look at that position?
Well, it was one of the most obvious positions of need when you talk about just having one scholarship guy there, and TJ Lateef. And, Minchie's he's a fascinating guy because he nearly won the job over CJ Carr. And there's an alternate universe where maybe he wins that position battle and he's viewed as a much more valuable talent or commodity than he is because he lost, because he just appeared in a few mop-up duty scenarios. So I think some of it probably is positional need from Nebraska. I think some of it's probably their identification of him as a guy who can come in and compete and make a difference. They made it clear in the last month, that the guys that they're going to bring in, they want to be difference makers. So if the first guy that you're bringing in, at that quarterback position, he's got to be somebody that they really feel strongly about. And I think too, the quarterback, it's kind of like in high school, like the quarterback spot tends to move a little bit faster. You saw Brendan Sorsby commit to Texas Tech. And so it's sort of the same thing, except on a more condensed timeline now where teams are allotting revenue share dollars to these guys. And what are some of the first positions you got to figure out? It's going to be the quarterback. So Nebraska's figured that out with Minchie, and now they can obviously turn their attention to a whole bunch of other guys that have visited, that are visiting, that have connections. I'm sure they'll probably get a commitment or two today, would be my guess. And but you gotta start somewhere. You got to start with a guy that you feel like can be a starter and a difference maker. And I think because Minchie was the first commitment, that probably suggests just a little bit more how Nebraska feels about him.
You were in Vegas and you saw, you watched the game and look, it was ugly, and they were 14-point underdogs for a reason heading into that one. But is there anything from the game against Utah that made you change your opinion at all in terms of what Nebraska needs to acquire? Did you look at Makai Nelson and think, oh, maybe they only need one running back, or any other player maybe that might have had a moment or two in a game that overall was pretty ugly?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Makai Nelson, that first quarter was awfully impressive. I think he showed that he should be in the mix for next year, whether that's, a starter or a feature back or whatever. I think Nebraska wants to go back to more of a committee approach with the running backs anyway. I think Nelson can be somebody who's in that group. So he probably did pretty well. I guess I kind of came away saying, hey, maybe Nebraska needs more veteran help in the secondary than I would have before. And it's not to say that those young guys won't be good players, but I think you're reminded that, Rex Guthrie just finished his first full college season. Caleb Benning is a young guy who's going to be good, but that was his biggest workload in the college game this year. And Justin Rhett, he has the pedigree, but kind of the same thing. He's just getting going. So you kind of feel like he loves some more veteran options in the back end. And I think they've offered some portal transfers that would maybe suggest that they feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
The offensive line, I think it's become clear that's still an area that you need to add some more pieces. Like when Matt Rule was saying that Turner Corcoran is playing on one leg out there, and it's a noble thing, but like, is that really the situation Nebraska's in, where a one-legged Turner Corcoran's better than a lot of the young players that they've been developing for a couple of years? It's like that got my attention as to what they feel like they have in that room. So again, you've seen that with some of the offensive linemen that they brought in, and then the D line, there was an urgency there anyway. But I think with the departure of Davis, even more so, where you're going to need to add a couple impact guys, and you look in the position group that they have, and they have some younger guys, but it's not busting at the seams with players that you feel like are going to be starters in the next year or two. So I think everyone kind of knew that Utah was a bad matchup for Nebraska because of all the things that the Utes do well that Nebraska struggled to stop all season. But I think it was not just the talent, but it was also the identity. Like they were about to lose their offensive coordinator. They'd lost their head coach to Michigan. They had all this transition going on, and they still just went out and did what they did. Like their identity and their system was so ingrained in their guys that they just went out and did it. Whereas with Nebraska, nobody knew what to expect on offense, and defense is in a transition period again. So like, I think as much as it's going to be about talent in the portal, man, it's also, this has to be an off season where you bring in guys that fit a vision, and you're not just talking about 4 stars and value picks. Like figure out what you want to do and bring in guys that can execute that vision. And so we'll see if Nebraska has one. But clearly we saw, compared to Utah, they're still a ways away in that regard.
Why don't they have one?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I mean, Matt Rule had one at Temple and Baylor, and he's talked about how winning in the Big Ten and winning on the Plains is a little bit different. But it's really not even a Matt Rule thing. Like this is a discussion we've had through the Scott Frost era, to a lesser extent in the Mike Riley era too, although they were a little more defined. in what they wanted to do, but I think some of it's a product of the coaching turnover that continues to happen. Again, like some of the post game comments from Matt Rule when he talks about essentially forcing John Butler to run a system that he wasn't comfortable with. Like that's concerning, obviously, and you've got a couple defensive positional assistants who are still on the staff that Rob Orich is going to have to implement or integrate into what he wants to do. And so it's just, they've been piecemeal, it seems like, for a long time in different ways. And, it's confounding. It really is, because you look around the Big Ten and how many different teams can you name, and you know immediately what they're about. Illinois, you know what they're about. Iowa, Minnesota, Ohio State, Michigan, like you know what all those teams are about and the kind of style they're going to have. Nebraska is still not to that point. So, again, while it's about talent, to me, it's just as much about like have a clear-cut idea of what you want to do and then go out and find those players. I'm not totally confident that Nebraska is in that place, but maybe they are. And that's part of the intrigue of the offseason.
Yeah. Hey, fantastic stuff. I know you've been busy, and it's a wild world to cover in the portal, but you're doing a great job, and I appreciate all the information and the chat. Thank you, Evan.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Evan Bland. That's why a lot of people are infuriated going into year number 4, trying to find some optimism. Is what is the vision? What is the plan? John Bishop, when we were in Big Red Overreaction on New Year's Eve, he had a great line. He said, "You know what you're going to get." Like we were rattling off Minnesota and Iowa and Illinois and Oregon and Indiana and Ohio State, Michigan. You know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get with Nebraska. And again, this might be a prime opportunity, and you get one get out of jail free card.
Sure.
Is you get to reset without 15. Okay. You get to get back to what you want to do, because there's no one that has fallen into your lap that raises the expectations like Dylan Raiola did. Now you can dial it back. I'm not saying you shouldn't have expectations, because we all have standards.
Sure.
But now you're able to kind of take back the program, and it becomes it's all on you. There's no, you have you.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere. They're not firing him.
No,
Okay?
God, no.
But it needs to be fixed so that you can give a dose of optimism to people. Because right now, I sense under the Matt Rule era, there is the lowest level of optimism that I've seen in 3 years.
You and I are lockstep in what Dylan's commitment did, and what it might influence, right?
It didn't work out. They didn't reach the ceiling that they thought they could have.
But you say, get your program back. To me, I immediately think, how was it lost? Like how'd you let it slip like that?
Well, you're not. I don't think you were prepared. For what came with that whole experience.
Sure.
The football and the other part.
Yeah, they just didn't adapt to it enough, I guess.
Yep. All right. Last hour is upcoming. We'll talk some more Nebraska basketball. We'll play a big game tonight against Ohio State. 5:30 tip-off at the Shot in Columbus. Monday, back to work. You think it'll be a light crowd, a little quiet in there?
I just like how we talked about Nebraska football for 20 minutes, and you and I are both in need of optimism and hope and positivity. So we got to talk about this basketball team. I love it. I love it. They're awesome.
I think I could find you some football optimism, because I think taking back the program, what if Pat Stewart had a say in Keona Davis going into the portal? We'll talk about it in the next hour on 1620 The Zone. Great job in game 272 last night. The missed field goal at the end, and Steelers make the playoffs. The Ravens season comes to an end. Mike Tirico, that NBC crew on Sunday Night Football, back-to-back just bangers. And you knew that Tirico had it in the back pocket about the holy water.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was saving that one.
Well, I loved it. I loved the Tirico call of the last play of the regular season because I didn't really recognize that until he brought it up, and I'm like, wow, he's right. This is it. All right, like we're done. The NFL season's over. Like this is crazy. And then I think man, NBC's killing it. I don't know what it is with those cameras. Those cameras are so much more clearer than like ESPN or FS1 or like the picture is perfect. And then they cut to the replays so quickly. They you're like close play. They're right back at it. I feel like when I'm watching an ESPN game, I'm screaming for like, show it. Show me the I want to see this play. NBC's great.
I got to do I wish the NFL would step in. So the playing surface for the Oregon Texas Tech game is like a goat track. And by the way, that's where the national championship game is played. Yeah. The surface, I know they've been against field turf. Even Nashville, even at Nissan Stadium, they went to field turf because they used to have really bad turf problems. The field, what is it? Acrisure Stadium now, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Used to be Heinz Field.
Yeah.
That field has always been so bad. I know Pitt plays there. They play high school games there. Yeah. And of course the Steelers play there. That field is always so bad. I wish the NFL would just force the Steelers to do something and install field turf. Well, we're past the point of, we play in this part. We got to play on grass. You know what? Even the Ravens, the Bills, they all play on turf.
Yeah.
But that field is always so bad.
The MetLife Stadium has just historically terrible turf. Like they just really bad. I mean, look, the team that I root for has had grass that has been heralded as some of the worst in the NFL's history. I don't understand. It's one of those things where you're like, it's 2025 and now it's 2026. And you're like, how do we still have bad grass? And how are we still using a chain to measure distances? And how
virtual?
No, but the spot, they don't do it on the spot. Like the spot is not
because you're tricked, young man, on the first down line.
I am with the yellow line and everything like that.
Sometimes not accurate.
But I don't understand though why they're using this hawk technology, right, to do the measurement and stuff like that. But they use it to measure, not to spot. They still let the referees use their eyes and make judgment calls, and we still have some bad spots.
All about chips in the ball.
We shouldn't be doing that. We should be like, we should have a chip in the ball and be like, hey, put it on the 28-yard line. That's where the ball was down. It's not a guy walking out there being like, I think he was down at the 26 or I think he was down at the 27. It's crazy to me.
All right, it is by the way, Black Monday. It might be a little bit gray. Raheem Morris of Atlanta was fired last night. I'm sure Matt Ryan will now have a role in the Falcons front office. Yeah. Aaron Glenn looks like he's going to stay with the Jets, which is very surprising because the Patriots had one of their own who just could not be a head coach. And so they moved on. And all of a sudden, Mike Vrabel showed up.
Yeah.
So Aaron Glenn, who took the Jets through an entire season.
I can't believe he survived.
Where
it is
they
the
did
Jets.
Not pick off a pass. Aaron Glenn, I believe in his career, had 6 pick sixes. His football team in the first year with the Jets did not pick off a pass, and their leading wide receiver was a guy that had not been on the field since like October 1st. But the Jets are going to retain Aaron Glenn, where the Patriots said, Mayo is in over his head. We made a mistake. We corrected it. Look what's happened to them. I mean, they're in a great spot. The Jets look like they're going to keep him. So it could be, instead of Black Monday, it could be gray. Would you like the good and the bad news surrounding Nebraska football?
I would like the bad news first.
Okay.
Good idea.
The bad news is with the current team. Transfer from Washington, defensive lineman Bryce Butler, who was going to visit Nebraska today.
He still could.
Nope.
He's not going to
he's
go
not,
there.
He's not visiting. He at 6'5", 315 pounds is committed to Texas Tech.
Damn.
The oil money. So Butler is not visiting
Kegel Steakhouse,
Nebraska. You know what's going to I said 2 weeks from today we'll assess the portal.
Yeah.
So everybody just ride it. Rule's comment about resources. When you lose some battles of guys that you were hoping to get visits, that comes back to bite you. It's
Big
one
time.
of those promises. Also, it stings when guys that maybe played at San Diego State are supposed to visit Nebraska, and they're not going to visit Nebraska, but they're going to go visit Texas A&M because they have a defensive line coach.
Yeah.
Elijah Robinson, Nebraska didn't have a defensive line coach. That person could be in the NFL. They could still be coaching in college. Who knows? But a little bit sooner than later.
Sure.
But now you want the good news.
Good news, yes.
Okay. On this Black Monday, Zach Taylor will be back.
Yeah.
In Cincinnati. I'm sure that Joe Burrow said, I'm good with Zach. So Mike Brown, their owner, said, we're good with Zach. So they're running the whole operation with the Bengals back. They haven't made the postseason in 3 years. Has Burrow, of those 3 years, has Burrow played the whole season at all?
No, because he was hurt this year.
And then
last year. He was hurt last year. And then didn't he have like an ankle earlier in the year? Yeah, I think he had like an ankle injury or something like that 3 years ago. I find it very funny that the Cincinnati Bengals are pulling the anti-Iowa. Like they are the complete opposite of Iowa. Because Iowa's always like, we need to get the quarterback. But our defense and run game is awesome. And Cincinnati has decided to do, hey, we're going to flip that. We are going to have the quarterback who, when he's playing at his peak, is one of two of the best quarterbacks in the world. And then we're also going to have a defense that they've known that their defense has been bad for like 3 years now. Yeah. They've known that that's a problem. They know that their pass rush outside of Trey Hendrickson is an issue. And yet they still haven't figured out how to solve it. It's crazy to me when you have a glaring issue like that and you can't figure it out.
Look at the quarterbacks that are not in the postseason this year.
Great call.
Burrow, Lamar.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes.
All right, so the discussion about Keona Davis, who went into the portal, he was the 18th guy, played 25 games. He was a starter. So you go, does it make sense? 4-2-5 is coming. What if this was a Pat Stewart call?
I would love it.
What if Pat Stewart played the role of Turk as the general manager, and they said, your production for what you made last year did not match. We're going to have to cut back.
Yeah.
And they had a mutual parting of ways where they're like, you know what, we got to get better there. And if we're going to pay top dollar, we need the production.
Yeah.
Thinking not, maybe in the back of your mind thinking maybe his best football is ahead of him, but we're not playing that game. We need some proven stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We want you, but we don't want you at that price. And maybe they made a decision of, hey, this is where we see you in 26 in terms of dollars. And Keona on his own, who had to play for a guy that clearly could not be a defensive line coach, doesn't know who he's going to play for, and probably made a decision that I'm going to go somewhere else and we're going to sit back and see what happens. So I'm wondering if Pat Stewart played a role in this.
If he did, I'd be a fan of it because Nebraska isn't a mom and pop shop. Okay. And they can't operate that way. If you're going to be NFL light, if other teams in the country are going to operate as like the 33rd NFL franchises, you have to operate that way too. And you have to go ahead and you have to assess, hey, you're not worth this. Okay. You're not worth it. This is what this is what you're worth. If you want to be here, you can be here. We like you, but we're not going to overpay you because we like you or we have a relationship with you.
It's tricky. It's tricky because of that position.
Yeah.
And year number 3, do you pop? If you look at like, I know they made the mistake of comparing him to Sue.
Yeah.
I mean, Sue didn't pop his first two, Sue wasn't great his sophomore year, but then he started to pop. And then we saw Ty and we saw Nash. So it's tricky of now, is everybody even in the trenches into a 2-year window? But I'm thinking, that's why I'm not thinking it's about okay, we can see you doing this.
Sure.
I think it's, hey, we can't pay you what we paid you last year to bring you back out of the portal. This is what we want you. This is what we have for you. And he just says, I could probably get something somewhere else. And so then you go, yeah, it would have been great to have you, but we got to move on. We got to get better at that position. And, and maybe even the new DC looked at the bowl game and he watched film,
Sure.
and his vision doesn't match vision of current guys on the roster.
You know, I think it will be a great case study in terms of, has their evaluations improved and have they become better evaluators? And has that been something that they've assessed of, hey, we need to change how we look at things and go ahead and progress in that way? Because we're going to now look back at this and say, okay, you know, maybe they decided that Keona Davis, you know, wasn't worth his price and they let him move on. We're now going to look at Keona and be like, all right, what did he do? And did they evaluate that correctly? And should they have, you know, done more to have kept him? Or maybe we'll just find out, hey, he just completely needed a full restart and he needed to go somewhere else. I mean, this is a guy too that entered the transfer portal last year. You know, I don't think he did that, you know, for no reason.
What Nebraska thought they were getting, they didn't get this past year. Whether he had a quirky defensive line coach, when you say, hey, we're going to pay you this, because then with it, this is the business world, NFL light. We're going to pay you this. This production needs to come with it. If we're paying you this, that production doesn't come with it. We've got to reassess, because everything is a year to year. Okay. And people don't sign multi-year NIL contracts. Everybody is on year to year. And, you know, I mean, Nebraska clearly doesn't have money that grows on trees. They have money, but they're going to spend smart money. So that's why I'm a little bit, I know that probably we're going to talk about Keona Davis next fall somewhere else.
Sure.
But I'm also encouraged by Nebraska is taking a stand and they're going to pay for production.
Yeah.
That's why I'm looking at people they've approached in the portal that are either on visits or they've gone hard after, who haven't come here yet, is they're looking for proven stuff. Okay. They're not paying on potential. They're paying on proven. It's a little bit of a shift of philosophy, I think.
And I think it's very interesting, because this has been a team that has been very, they've trusted their past decisions big time, right? They've kind of stood by what they've believed.
Well, they believe the Baylor model.
Yeah.
The Baylor model is Jeremiah Charles.
Yeah, sure.
Where is Jeremiah Charles at?
The Baylor model is Bryce Turner. Where's Bryce Turner at? The Baylor model is essentially taking guys who are really, really fast and very athletic and teaching them football. Hey, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna teach you how to play the game. And those guys that they did that with they were recruiting and you bring up Jeremiah Charles, they recruited him based off of his basketball tape. You know, like that failed. That's not working. And so I appreciate the change, and I appreciate them evaluating themselves and saying, hey, we're going to go ahead and we're going to tweak the way that we do things. And yeah, they got to operate with a little bit of cutthroat. They got to operate like, hey man, you're like you said, money doesn't grow on trees. We got to make sure that we have the most amount of resources and we're not wasting anything on guesses and things that maybe we don't believe in. So I think if that's the way that they went about it, hell yeah, I'd be very encouraged.
And I think he'll get paid wherever he's going, because he plays a position which that market is, I mean, it is exploding. The trenches market is exploding. The quarterback market is what it is. I want to see some running back names. Okay. I want to see some running back names.
You're just going through the portal, man. I would have loved to have a running back named Turbo on this roster. That is you were born to be a running back. Turbo Richard. Oof. That's perfect. I need two. Well, you need at least one running back. I would like.
Makai Nelson is at least running back 2.
I would love fat men. That's what I'm looking at.
I want that run the ball.
No, not that run the ball.
Dante Dowdell is back in the portal.
That block the ball. That block for the runner. That's what I want. I was getting a little. I was getting fully husked looking at 6'5", 330 pounds, 6'6", 340. I was like, yes.
He was. He didn't have a visit to Nebraska, but Harrison Moore, who was the starting center at Georgia Tech. Jeep Wade was his offensive line coach.
Yeah,
he's going to Florida. The OC from Georgia Tech is now at Florida, so he's following his OC.
Owen Chambliss, baby. Let's just get it over with. Let's commit. That'd be a big one.
He's in.
Oh, he's in. He's full.
Well,
is he fully in?
Not officially.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Just get officially.
I think that is who Evan was alluding to.
Yeah.
So Nebraska will probably have 2 guys today that say they're in. I wouldn't be surprised if Black from Iowa State.
Okay.
That's his visit went really, really well.
The guard,
now,
right?
think he was supposed to go to South Carolina. Yes, he's the guard from Iowa State. They rolled out the red carpet for him this past weekend.
His visit to South Carolina is supposed to be tomorrow. It's January 6th and 7th is his visit. So it's one of those things, though. It's like, and I was tempted to say this, and now I fully believe it after what's happening to Nebraska. If you're able to get a guy in the transfer portal visit window, don't let him leave. Don't let him leave. Get that commitment. Just lock him up and pay him that money if you have evaluated him correctly and you like him enough. But I like if they
or get somebody who hasn't visited yet. And he's your quarterback.
I can't believe he committed without a visit. I think they just had to have given him
I
cash.
don't think how
much do you think? I think he's probably around the $2 million mark.
Yeah. But did they give a bump to Latif as well?
Probably. I think that would probably be something that they did to make sure that he's. Can you imagine if TJ entered the portal? That'd be a disaster.
No, because I think Latif thinks he'll be the starting quarterback in the fall.
That'd be fun. I always love a good quarterback battle. I'm always a fan of that.
It's been few and far between in Nebraska.
It's been a long time.
You could probably Casey Thompson had a little bit of a battle
with Purdy.
2010, yeah. 2010 is probably where there were 3 legitimate guys battling for the starting quarterback job in 2010.
Was Adrian never was in it? Was he in a full-on battle or no? He just came in and he played. Yeah.
Hi, my name's Scott Frost. I have
That's
Mario Verduzco, my quarterback coach. We are going to Fresno. We'll be back later. By the way, Frost turned 51 and got a really good quarterback. He turned 51 yesterday. It did not come up on my phone. It's not on my Facebook or anything. I just saw Brett McMurphy, who wishes every college football coach.
Did you send him a text?
But if I was going to send him a text, I would say, "Hey, that men's basketball program at UCF, the 12-1. Johnny Dawkins can coach, but also
big win against KU. Sorry, Jimmy.
UCF got a good quarterback yesterday.
I'm good. I lost no sleep over it. In fact, I actually watched the game because it was on Peacock. I was like, you know what? I like my Peacock basketball.
Hey, so did your star forward.
Oh, they straight his ass. He never plays.
That was so bad, that picture, Gary.
He watched the game in the second half.
I was like,
he was sitting in a seat separate from the bench.
Yeah, a chair in the corner. We discussed this one day.
We did discuss this one day when Gary was gone.
But Barnett, he announced that he's going to UCF.
I am getting.
That's a good quarterback pickup for Frost.
When do you ever? Is there like a certain threshold that you're going to get to in the transfer portal window where you might start pushing the panic button for Nebraska if they don't have a ton of commits? Or because
the number would be
the number's got to be probably 14 to 16.
Well, remember, I don't think they're done with their roster and guys leaving. Now they have to get down to 105, and they got some guys that are grandfathered in.
Yeah.
I think Nebraska will find their way to 15 portal guys. So by today they should probably have 3.
Yeah.
I think they'll have 15.
Okay. That's the number they essentially need. So like when I was making the needs list, I got to 14. Which is way too many.
What have they done? 9, 12, and 17 have been the 3 years.
So that sounds about right.
So they have 38 portal guys. 19 have turned into starters.
Did they get 9 guys in 23? Did they get that many? I thought it was a little less than
that. I think 9. I think because remember the portal window was a little bit different.
It was
so
different.
There were 2 windows and
they probably got some of the late. Well, I remember Chief Border, shout out. Remember that Jacob Hood? He was in that first one. Then you had Hood, you had Borders, you had Billy Kemp the 4th. Remember
he played football.
Yeah, he played football. Well, you had Isaiah Garcia Castaneda who entered the portal and then rejoined Rule, and Rule's like, well, you didn't enter the portal when I was here. God, I would love to. The revisionist history of just the swings and misses is always a depressing kind of fun.
Well, you want to go into full depression.
Sure. Why not?
Before you get excited for Nebraska Ohio State at 5:30 today. Little bit, and this is familiar. Look at the entirety of the 23 Rule recruiting class, and then look what's left. That's
not good.
That thing is going to hamstring Nebraska for at least another year, and you hope not much longer. But I think there's only 12 guys that are left.
Really?
Yeah,
that was a big class too.
Yeah,
they brought in like 30.
It
was 35. Yeah.
All right.
That's crazy.
We'll take a break. We'll come back with more on this Monday, where we have the FCS final tonight. Illinois State and Montana State in Nashville. There are good stories on both sides. Go Bobcats.
Whoa, go Redbirds. Come on, man.
Man, Montana State's gotten close. This is the time to get over the hump, even though Illinois State would be the better story of what they've done.
So many kids.
I'm with you with the Redbirds.
I
root
so
for the
many people I
Grizz.
know
I
who
can't
went to
root for the
Illinois
Cats.
State, who they've just been eating crap. Like, not really. Their team doesn't really matter all that much. And, like, this is their Super Bowl. It's great. I'm happy for them.
I like Bozeman better than Missoula.
No, have you ever been to Normal, Illinois?
I've driven through.
I haven't. I hear great things about it, though.
Yeah, you know what?
I've never heard.
That's where my insurance checks go.
Really?
Yeah, State Farm.
Oh, okay. I didn't
That's
know
where
that.
Jake lives.
Is that where Jake lives?
Jake
In
lives in
Normal,
Normal.
Illinois? Wow.
Yeah.
Hanging and banging.
Bloomington Normal.
Bloomington Normal.
Yeah.
It's both.
I got an
A little bit of
ECHL hockey team in Bloomington.
The Bloomington Barons?
No.
I feel like if that was a pretty good guess. I think if you ever have like a B, city, Barons is always like the next best
Solid,
name. It's always solid on the alliteration.
It's Scary Matt with Jimmy at 1620 The Zone.
Can't wait for the summertime and the celebrity softball game. As this is the walkout song for Sam Hoiberg.
I was about to say it was going to be for
It
you.
is good taste.
No. I'm tall. Not as tall as the video I was just watching here. So tall women intimidate me.
I love tall women. I love.
Well, what's your definition of a tall woman?
5'10" and above.
Okay, that's not very tall.
That is a tall
That's
woman.
tall.
No.
That is a
no,
tall
I got to
woman.
tell you. So
Some people would say a tall
He's
girl is
thinking like
5'8".
he's thinking more like Cameron Brink. You're
good friend I went to high school with was 6'8".
Oh my! Wow.
So he knew what the field was like.
Yeah.
But
7'1"
he
to
didn't
the
want to. I mean, he was always searching for a woman that was like 6'2", 6'3",
That's
and
tough.
he's a former small college athlete.
Yeah.
So his wife is like 6'3", and I'm
Some
intimidated
genes.
by tall women. I'm watching this video. Have you guys seen?
Oh,
There is a woman in China that plays professional basketball that is 7'5".
ooh.
Now, Texas Tech women also signed somebody over the weekend that is 7 foot
I
tall.
saw that. My Texas Tech
I
people were
think-
taking pictures.
I think if you're a female that's 7'5" or 7 foot tall, your life is hell.
oh God, yeah,
I think
probably.
what
That's a great take.
What a miserable life. But tall women intimidate me. Like,
I
I'm
wouldn't
like,
call it a miserable life. I would just say it's
no.
It's inconvenient.
it's cumbersome.
if you're a woman, if
that's
you're a
nothing cumbersome
no,
about
hold
it.
on here. I think people that are very tall and very large, sometimes life can be hell
Yes.
because they don't make things for you.
No, they don't.
But even more so as a woman, if you're 7'5", and I've watched this video,
She
She's
good?
good. She's good. No, she's good.
yeah, she does have some moves around the
Okay.
basket, all right. But
Female Wemby?
she has a tendency to spin left instead of right, so I would hedge there.
She can work.
Um,
She can work on that.
No, if you're 7'5" and
can't help yourself.
if you're a 7'5" woman, your life is hell. It just is.
I wouldn't say it's hell. I would say it's probably tough. They probably don't have.
You can't hide.
You
in
well,
public.
why do you need to hide? You want to hide?
Could
No,
Amy
no,
Williams get her to
especially-
Lincoln?
Hey, especially in
Great
China,
question, Jimmy.
Hey.
Asking the important question.
especially in China, because
That's tough.
Yao Ming stood out.
That's true.
They can pick out an American in China just like that.
Well,
because
yeah.
you're taller than the regular population.
I've seen
Imagine if
Bloodsport.
you're a female and you're 7'5".
I think it's just more so to do with the fact that they probably don't make like the best the sizes for clothes and the sizes for
Yes.
shoes and
That's
Probably-
why. That's why guys in the NBA.
Adidas could take care
One
of
of the
Yeah,
one of the
probably do already.
one of the things you have to do if you're an NBA city and you want to be a hotel that houses the visiting team,
Need big beds.
you need big beds.
Yeah,
It is a
great call.
it is a requirement. And
Miracle, Oklahoma City.
there
man.
is a store in Atlanta. Like a lot of players like going to Atlanta,
That's the reason why.
not only because of the wings,
Lemon pepper Lou.
but also there is a store. I wish I remember the name, but like Shaq talks about it, like is geared towards
Big and tall.
NBA players that wear size 22 shoes.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
all of the different things. But if you're 7'5" and you're a woman and you live in China, and you're like, hey, what do you do? Oh, you play basketball. It's not like you work behind a desk or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. I think life would be hell.
There's this guy.
I just
on-
think it'd be tough to be a very tall woman. Period.
You're not on Instagram, or at least so you've told me over and over
I am
again.
not.
You're not
I
on
am not.
Instagram. There's a guy on
Chalmers big and
Instagram who
tall, Scott.
he has become very popular because he's 6'8", and he's like,
He's
it's
not
no, he's not that.
6'7".
Stop. No, he's 6'8".
Matt Rule, the anti 6'7", he's 7'6". Thank you.
That's a good
George
one.
Mears
You'll be here all week.
Hey,
That's a tough
I
one.
worked that one all weekend.
Yeah, did you hit it right in the mirror? Honey, I got a joke. Honey, here's my Borat. How does it sound? So anyway, what I was going to say though is that there's this guy who's built his brand over like being tall, and he's like, he tries to get sympathy,
Yeah.
from me about being 6'8", and I look at the dude, I go, dude, I'd kill to be 6'8", and he's like, good looking guy too. He does these meetups with people, like
Yeah.
he like rents out like ballrooms
Just to meet a tall guy.
and he invites women and men that are over 6 foot to come and like meet
Yeah.
each other and whatnot,
Oh, I
because it's
see.
kind of hard for taller guys to find taller women sometimes, and
That's
they're
true. That
they're
is true.
super
Get them
popular.
all together.
Like these people
Yeah.
fly out to Nashville or fly out to Chicago, and they have this like tall people speed dating meet and greet thing. I'm not allowed in.
I've seen these videos.
I'm not tall enough,
But
but I would love to go. Because
Well, you're not tall. You know.
But I would love to go because I need a kid, who plays D3 sports, and we need to get over 6 foot.
So you need a 6'2".
Yeah, I think
mate.
5'10" will do the job. I definitely over a certain amount of time, like
16-20 the date.
No, I'll just be like, how tall are your brothers? And if she goes, oh, 1 6'6" and 1 6'7", I'll be like, perfect, that's great. We'll probably get in at 6'4".
You ever been to a sports book?
No, have them play like golf.
That's why you can follow my plan, and that is to adopt Sudanese kids that play basketball.
That's your plan.
Warren Schmidt did that.
A couple of things here. This is a volleyball week. The Supernovas are back, as you've heard on our radio station, and Love B, which will be playing at Baxter Arena, is back. So a couple of things here. Coming up on Thursday, John Cook will be in studio for about half hour. He doesn't know he's going to be here longer. I will let him know. But Coach Cook will be in studio as the Supernovas begin their season on Thursday. And just got word here. Jordan Larson is going to make a major announcement at a press conference.
Governor.
Coming up on Friday. So she is, of course, playing for Love B, Nebraska. But with Coach Booth, they are going to make a major announcement. This is the line I just got.
Okay.
Can you make it? No, I can't make it. It's at 9 a.m. We're on the air on Friday.
You're fine. You don't have to be here. It's okay.
Okay, I'll be gone.
We could go on StreamYard from
They're going to do it.
Me and Jimmy can have a very random last hour of the show, and then you'll get a call and be like, "You wouldn't believe what they were doing."
So
somebody's getting fired.
They're holding a press conference out at Premier, Nebraska, which is out in Gretna. It says, "Will you be able to make it?" I believe that Jordan's announcement is going to reverberate far and wide with volleyball fans, and you don't want to miss it.
She's buying the zone.
Was this a
how would that?
I don't know. Did somebody text you that? Was that a friend who texted you that, or was that like
I got the release, and then I got a follow up. I got a follow up text.
Okay.
You really
wow,
should be there.
Yeah. I would love to get a follow up text after getting the press release. Seriously, that just screams
Matt, did you get my email?
Did you get my email? It's funny. One of my favorite moments that we've had is you were gone, and it was the
I wonder
first.
if this has anything to do with USA Volleyball in Omaha.
Probably. You were probably does.
That.
Probably maybe they have a training facility or something, or maybe they go ahead and they make USA Volleyball like one of the homes of. I don't know how it works.
Across from
but
the
that'd
outlets
be
in
pretty big.
Big-
Yeah,
big-
but no, put him at Big Lake.
Big Lake doesn't exist. It's done. Out.
Put him where the hockey arena is supposed to be.
Hockey arena don't exist. Out.
Sports
else
complex.
What else after Big Lake?
They were gonna rename the outlets Big Ten, and like streets were gonna name like Eddie George Boulevard.
New Nebraska.
Runs into Tom Osborne Expressway.
Yeah, where are you at? I'm on Darnell Autry Avenue
and Don James Boulevard.
Yeah, I'm at Patty Fisher Boulevard.
So we'll see. So it'll be a busy week because they both begin their seasons.
I'm over here at Jack Sanborn Drive.
Jason says, my wife and I used to live in Normal, Illinois. Of course, we call it abnormal.
Huh.
It is a nice community.
Oh. Yeah, it was nice. I've heard nothing but great things about Normal, Illinois.
Maybe we'll go visit Normal, Illinois in the Missouri Valley Conference.
Oh, maybe you will.
Maybe we will.
I hope you will.
Maybe we will.
I visited all the places that you and I are going to be visiting when you come in, when we go to the Northwestern Colorado game. I made sure everything was fine.
Scouting it out.
I was scouting it out. I was making sure that the quality was high. I was telling Sanders, hey, my boy Gary's coming a couple months. You guys got to be on it. I went over to Evanston. I went onto the
Yes, you did.
I went onto the field. Jimmy, I walked up where they played all the games this year, and the fence was broken. And I just was like,
hooligans.
I just walked in. I go, okay. And I looked around, and there was no cops or anything. And we just started sitting on the bench, and we like took pictures and stuff
on
like
the
that.
main streets of Evanston, no cops.
I could not believe that was a Big Ten football field. I was like, I cannot believe that NFL prospects played here. It was ridiculous.
Beautiful view.
So I went there, went to Northwestern, checked it out for you. We're all good.
Yeah.
Stadium looked good.
Yeah,
Coming
stadium.
along?
No, they're perfect. You know, I talked to David. I go, hey, we're going to be okay. We're going to be ready. We're going to beat South Dakota State. Gary and I are going to be there. So I'll talk to David. He's great. Everything's all good.
Vance Joseph has been requested by the Tennessee Titans. Matt Nagy has been requested by the Tennessee Titans. Also, Steve Spagnuolo has been requested by the Tennessee Titans. Also, they expect the New York Giants to put in a request to interview Joe Spagnuolo. or Steve Spagnuolo, sorry, because I'm reading ahead here. Joe Schoen is coming back as the general manager of the New York Giants, who just finished 4-13, 22-55-1 with a playoff win with Joe Schoen as the GM with the New York Giants. And as we mentioned earlier, I think this is a little bit of surprise that Zach Taylor is being retained. I thought Zach Taylor would be out.
I think it was so one guy tweeted, I think Albert Breer tweeted out, like, no surprise here. Zach Taylor staying with Cincinnati. And I go, I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Albert. But at the same time, Zach Taylor's specialty is the offensive side of the football. They have done great on the offensive side of the football. I mean, they score a lot of points. Like they know what they're doing on the side of the ball that's his specialty. I think it's more of a question internally of how do we get the best players on defense. So it's not that big of an issue. But, I think too, you brought up a point. If Joe Burrow, wants Zach Taylor to be his head coach, more than likely Zach Taylor is going to end up being the head coach. But this is it. Like, this is the one get out of jail free card, if you want to call it that. We give you one more year. If they don't make the playoffs again next year, he's gone. And if they get off to
maybe come here and be the OC.
I wouldn't mind. He's a pretty damn good OC, man.
All right. Dave said he just got back from Nashville. He said the whole state of Montana is there. Oh yeah.
Wow. Even the Grizz fans?
Probably not.
I would think not.
You ever heard the chant that they do in Bozeman?
I did.
No.
Towards Montana?
No.
It's not nice.
Can't do it. Can't say it on the air.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You could have. Well, no, you couldn't have.
Whoa. Suck that.
No, because that's LSU.
I know. I love that chant, though.
Which
I still cannot believe you did that at the College World Series. We had to cover up our microphones. That was ridiculous. It was funny.
When we played at Lamar, their band played Neck too.
Did they?
Yes.
Did you say it on the air too?
No, I was just I was just listening.
My two favorite announcers, Gary Sharp and Gary Sharper, on the call.
Yeah. Okay.
Darren's what are you looking at?
Nothing. Nothing.
You're definitely looking at something.
No, I'm trying to figure out a portal visit here.
You saw that Trey White also went to Texas Tech here officially?
Well, yeah.
So Texas Tech has now taken two guys that Nebraska very much wanted. That's great. At least they came in second, though.
They've doubled down after losing. But you know what? When you get to that level, there also is this thing called coaching. Okay,
it's a good point.
Yeah,
good point. I know. They're gonna hire a D-line coach, right?
Nebraska?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I'm saying in terms of like we flirted with the idea of like what if Rule just says I'm the captain now. I'm the D-line coach now.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the person might be still coaching.
Okay. Because hiring a D-line coach from the NFL worked out so great the first time.
Yeah. Jeez. All right. The AP poll comes out at noon today. Nebraska could be in the top 10.
10th.
But it would be the top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10th. That's my guess.
Yeah. It's been a while. But then they play tonight against Ohio State. How many times, by the way, how many times has Nebraska basketball been beaten and that crowd storms the court?
Oh, great question, Gary.
We'll be back to wrap the show after this. All right, so looking this up, the 90-91 season, Nebraska finished that year number 11. They were ranked as high as number 11 after they beat Oklahoma to get to 17-2. Today, Nebraska could find themselves in the top 10, even number 10. So I said, when was the last time somebody stormed the court after beating Nebraska? Thank you to Ray. Nebraska went through a stretch where they played a home and home with Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the year after Nebraska went to the NCAA tournament. And you remember there were like a ton of expectations.
Yeah.
And it was early in the year. Nebraska went to Rhode Island, got beat. Then they lost. I think the next game they lost to Creighton in Lincoln. That's also the year that they lost to Incarnate Word. I think all three of those games were in a row.
Jeez.
And so the year after, they go to the NCAA tournament, and the expectations, because Nebraska began the year in the top 25, they laid an egg. They were 13-18. I think they were 5-14 in the Big Ten. But yeah, that game in Rhode Island, Nebraska was number 21. It was November 22nd, 2014.
Wow.
And Nebraska got beat 66-62. And I'm looking at pictures. They're in Kingston, Rhode Island. The fans did storm the floor. So does Ohio State fans storm the floor tonight if Ohio State beats Nebraska as a favorite?
Do you storm? You got to be in the top 10 if you storm. You can't storm on the 22nd team in the country. That's
Miami
that's a bad indication of where you are as a basketball program. If you're storming on like the 18th team, maybe, I don't know. It depends on how jacked up they are. Like, I feel like the court storming was more so like a reward for how great everybody was in the crowd. I think that was PBA's award for bringing the energy and being an awesome atmosphere.
I will tell you, being there, a lot of it had to do with the opponent.
Yeah,
a lot of it had to do with the opponent. That's much respect to Michigan State.
It does. Yeah, they were also top 10. Somebody had the audacity to text me, be like, "Hey, act like you've been there before." I go, "They haven't." I go, "They haven't."
Let them have fun.
We can't act like we've been there before when we haven't been there before. Now, though, they've been there before. So you can act like that, and from here on out, unless you beat the number 1, 2, or 3 team in the country, don't storm the court. If they were to beat Michigan at home, yeah, I'd storm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Makes it easier to get out anyway, so I don't blame them. Smart.
Have you ever stormed the court, Jimmy?
No, I went to Kansas.
That's a good point.
We booed people off in 2003, they beat Texas. 2 idiots tried to run on the floor, and they got booed off the floor.
Really?
And Roy Williams just glared at them.
You ever stormed the court, Gary?
Yeah, when I was at Nebraska.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess I don't know any place else I would be.
Yeah.
I know, like as a broadcaster,
did you ever storm?
Take off the headset and you run out on the floor.
Gary will be back with the post game right after this.
He will. Gary's currently jumping up and down with a bunch of people from ATO. That's funny. That's my only I love it when you go, yeah, I won 3 national championships. All I got is the fact that Nebraska beat Purdue. And Wisconsin. That was a great game, too. I stormed that court. I got a video of a security guard trying to grab me. I juked him.
So if Nebraska beats Purdue later this year, do you storm the court?
What is Purdue ranked? Is Purdue ranked
top 5?
If they're number 1, then absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hell, have fun. Do it anyway.
If they're 6 and Nebraska is 8, I almost said 7 there. If they're 6 and Nebraska's 8, then no. Nebraska probably favored in that game. So no. But if they're number 1 team in the country and you beat them, absolutely storm the court. You're the top dog now. You're the king of the hill.
How many teams need to lose? And Nebraska could be number 1.
I don't think.
You're in the top 10. Michigan's going to be tough, though.
How about this, Gary? What if Nebraska never lost ever again?
Ever. Just this year or like forever?
Forever. They just never lost. That'd be pretty dope.
It would make the people in Bloomington very sad.
Indiana?
Yeah, because they'd be off the list.
1976 Indiana team. If this feels like tonight could be the first loss.
Yeah.
But
trap game.
Again, Nebraska a little bit older. Well, I don't know, trap game. I just think you're playing a good team. Ohio State's probably like an 8-9 seed right now. And they've got a guy that's going to be first team All Big Ten, and Bruce Thornton.
Yeah, he's awesome.
They're not a great team. And, this game could be high scoring. And Nebraska's a little bit older. And they don't turn the ball over on the reg like the team 2 years ago.
Sure.
but it just feels like, okay, it's setting up, pat on the back, just went into the top 10.
So
if not,
yeah.
it gives you another few days to be 15-0 before you go to Bloomington, where then it'll be like, oh, if Nebraska's going to fall out of the 6 that are unbeaten in college basketball, it's going to be this day. Now, I'm telling you, if they get past this week and they don't lose, you have Oregon, Northwestern, Minnesota, Washington.
That's a good stretch.
And then, you have to go to Ann Arbor at the bottom of the month, and they are a wagon.
They are awesome. They are incredible.
Their last 10 games that they've won, and they're unbeaten. The average margin of victory is 34.5.
They haven't won a game by less
33
than
against USC.
They haven't won a game by less than 18 points since November 14th.
Yeah. But you know what? It's a great month for Nebraska basketball. If you're like Clint and everybody else that is like, I don't know. Well, they started with Michigan State. They finished with Michigan.
Yeah.
One's at home. PBA came to play. Another's on the road, where a lot of people are getting the BTA when they go there.
Sure.
But hey, if Nebraska goes 5-3 in the month of January,
hell yeah,
I'll take it.
Well, I'll
take it.
I think also too, the reason why I call it a trap game is you just have all the makings of like short rest, emotional victory, top 10, you're rolling, but then you're playing a team that's really good at shooting the ball and that can get hot really quick. And they're, I think their fan base is going to be there. So and also too, you don't have, and not that they were benefiting off of it a ton, but you don't have the surprise factor anymore. Like nobody's like coming in being like, oh my God, I can't believe Nebraska's this good, or nobody's coming in underestimating them. Like the conference now knows that Nebraska is legit.
All right. We'll discuss that game. That is at 5:30 today. We'll discuss it tomorrow morning, among other things. We'll see what happens in the portal. Nebraska get a couple of commits. And also, you're in the wrestling community in this wonderful city of ours and that wonderful community. Thinking about you. It's going to be a tough day in the local wrestling community. All right. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 crossover.